Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SpawnCast episode 207. We're missing Max. He went to like an abandoned carnival, so we'll check on him later.
He's already gone.
He's already gone. But we do have a special guest on tonight. That is Brian Altano. Brian, how you doing?
Hey, what's up? It's good to see you.
Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Brian Altano here. Sorry, Brian. Sorry, I had to do it.
Look, I earned that. I mean, that's what I get for separating from you in the womb decades ago. It's all part of the deal.
Don't worry though, Brian. Since both of you guys are here, both of you guys will be in the SpawnCast Awards this year. Trust me. So I'll get you in this year. I'll get you in this year, Brian.
It's like one of my favorite videos.
You're gonna have competition, MVG. You got competition this year. You better be on your game.
Bring it on.
Brian, it's good to have you here. Thanks for joining us tonight.
It's good to see you all. I miss you guys. It's been a minute, so it's good to be back.
Good. And we got MVG. MVG gets on just in time.
Sorry, man.
Just slid in. So
had to eat. But
yes.
Great. It's great to be here, and it's great to see Brian back on the show. It was fun having him on last time. So
it's weird when you eat because I get full from it, which I think is weird.
Yeah, that's cool because like I eat a lot of food, so
it just registered in my brain. It was another joke. It's the same person.
Then we got Sean, RGT85.
Yo,
Sean, good to have you here. Is there a Knicks game on tonight?
No, tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. Okay, so no crazy outbursts. AEW on tonight?
No.
Okay.
I'm just playing some games on the second screen.
Okay, so nothing spontaneous gonna happen over there then.
I mean, he's playing a game.
I mean,
it's
I
still
can't
potential.
say that
Yeah.
sure, but
okay. Then we have OJ, player SSA. He is here for everyone who was asking. He is here.
Unfortunately, I made no money off people asking me this week, so the business is drying up. It's drying up, man. Y'all need to start. Come on, like what's going on here, guys? Like, come on.
Then we got
on my streams though, not here. On my streams, I'm here already.
Got Miss Click.
Oh, hi.
Good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Good to have you here. Got Jordan.
what up?
Jordan, how's it going over there?
Huh,
we were talking about how your background and Brian's background like blend together perfectly on screen.
We're in the same room. He's over there in the corner.
Yeah, they're there.
I would try to high five you, but I don't know how we're laid out in the final. But
It's just
there.
The opposite side. Other side.
opposite. Me
Both of you, opposite side. No, Brian. Try the other. There you go.
All right, there we go.
This is some fourth wall breaking shit right now.
And then we have Nate the Hate. How's it going, Nate?
Yep, I am here.
Were you around the internet again this week?
Not as much in recent weeks. I wasn't in China or France or any of those type of outlets this week. Unfortunately, next week I'll have to step up and get some international news going.
And I mean, not as much happened in this past week, so it's all right. You can try to make the rounds next week.
Yeah, next week
fine.
Next week sounds good.
Before we're gonna go through a couple of things tonight. We have Xbox, who I think Xbox probably had the most news this past week. There was a string of 3 to 4 days where they just had several announcements back to back. We did have a look at the PlayStation 5 VR controllers, which were interesting. And then we had the Square Enix Presents. And interestingly enough, I threw this in there because I know Evan and OJ are into kind of the esports scene. We had Sony partnering up and actually buying EVO. So I thought that would be interesting, OJ, on your side with Smash Bros. And all of that, because there's some questions around that one. I did quickly, though, want to go to Sean because I noticed you're posting something up, Sean, on Twitter, and there's a certain game you were playing, and it's funny because Nate probably has comments on it too, of course, because he helped fund it.
I did help fund it, and I also played it this week. And
did you? Okay, because this was like, I mean, that was like the new game that came out this.
There was also Plants vs Zombies, which I played that.
Okay, because
the Switch version.
Okay, because I know next week Monster Hunter's out. Like that's like the big release coming up. But Sean, what'd you think of Kingdoms of Amalur? I played it back on the 360. I played it again on the Xbox One, but this seems to be your first time at it.
I've never played it before. I didn't plan on making a video on it or anything. I was just gonna play it in my leisure. But I ended up playing it for like a very long time last night and a very long time today. So I actually went ahead and shot a video. I really enjoy it. I think it's
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
It's a good game.
Yeah, it
Other
is.
than the fact that it bankrupted Rhode Island, I think the game
Nate's
itself.
still paying for that game.
It didn't. What purpose does Rhode Island serve?
Nothing. Nothing.
What are they known for?
What we started the American Revolution.
Rhode Island did.
Yes, we burnt down the Gatsby. It was a British ship. It came ashore. We lit that bitch on fire.
What have you done for me lately?
We
literally
started the Industrial Revolution.
You are the beach. That is all you are for people in Connecticut and New York.
The Tennis Hall of Fame.
That's even that's seasonal.
And Sean, they gave us Kingdoms of Amalur.
And they gave us
a lot more. We gave you Paul Konerko.
Who?
Who is that? Who is that?
Fuck all you baseball non-fans.
I don't even know how to spell that to Google that. Who is that? Paul Konerko?
We gave you a lot of great things. We gave you Deborah Messing. That's
a real Paul Konerko's a real person.
That's not a good thing.
We gave you Meredith Vieira. Yeah.
I'm looking at
Family Guy takes place there.
Okay. Anyway.
We gave you Rocco Baldelli.
Okay, Nate, you're trying to.
Someone has to know who Rocco Baldelli is.
You're really trying to make Rhode Island feel important right now, okay? But
Sean knows about the deli. He gets his meats there.
Seth MacFarlane. That should be.
No, he's from Connecticut. He just went to Rhode Island School of Design. Went to RISD. Yeah, we have RISD. We have Brown University.
Nate, just go with the whole thing.
Emma Watson went to college here.
Nate, just go with the whole thing of Kurt Schilling and Kingdoms of Amalur, okay?
Kurt Schilling. He's leaving New England because people are mean to him.
This is like the most,
in my video,
Rhode Island information I've ever heard at once.
The only thing I really knew about
the all the information.
It looked Skyrim-y and Kurt Schilling was somehow involved.
you know that was supposed to be like a whole MMO, Sean. That was gonna be like a whole it was gonna be like a whole MMORPG. It was gonna be a couple of games from what I remember, and it just didn't work out.
Well, to my it was originally at Big Huge Games before THQ went under, and then EA picked it up at that point, gave it to 38 Studios, who had been doing nothing for years except saying they wanted to make an MMO, and that's where that came into play.
Didn't R.A. Salvatore write the story?
He wrote it. He wrote it, but Todd McFarlane purchased it and sold it to Big Huge Games.
Oh. Got it.
Yeah, I did like it on the 360 way back in the day. I was hoping they'd ever do something at some point with it, but I'm actually happy to see that they re-released it and people are, it seems anyway, enjoying it. So especially if you're playing it for the first time, Sean. Yeah, I'm hoping this gives them maybe the drive to try to do something else with the franchise. So I don't know if they'll make an MMO for it, but it ran fine on the Xbox One. I think now it even got an update for like 4K textures and stuff too. So
yeah, it runs pretty good on the Switch. There's a few frame drops that I talk about in the video. Usually they're kind of random too, so I couldn't really replicate them when I was recording footage. But not for the most part. Like it's a very enjoyable game. Definitely a lot better than I expected it to be, and I was kind of worried that the gameplay was going to be Skyrim-y, which would have been fine, but like Skyrim is like slow. And like this game is not slow.
It's a little faster, yeah.
Yeah, you know, you're dodging and parrying and shit, and I got these little chakra things or whatever the fuck they're called, and just like fire and throwing them at people. It's awesome.
It has that World of Warcraft look to it too, like the character models and like the art style.
I kind of thinking about it, I probably should have said that. I actually said I thought it had an old Fable look to it.
I mean that too. That makes sense. Fable.
It reminds me of Fable because I really like Fable, and it kind of because like Fable's action's a bit more fast paced and like it reminds me. It's kind of like
a combo of like an Elder Scrolls and Fable.
Yep. So I'm hoping a lot of people who'd never tried it on the 360 get to try it now, and maybe they try a sequel or something else with that. Because that's THQ Nordic that has it, I think, right? Embracer Group.
Yes.
And they continue to buy more people. In fact, they actually work to raise more money because they're looking to do more acquisitions.
I mean, they are a hedge fund
recently. So Embracer Group's going to keep buying up.
I heard they're buying Sega next.
Need time splitters. That's Microsoft, okay?
Definitely need time splitters.
That would be awesome.
Time splitter. Maybe they're working on it.
Maybe.
I feel like that rumor pops up every couple of years. Didn't that pop up a couple of years ago?
Yeah, well, THQ Nordic bought it. And maybe what's that, Nate? What'd you say? I heard you say something. Huh?
I said Paul Konerko was a great Chicago White Sox
That's not what you said at all.
Born in Providence.
He said stuff about time splitters just now. Okay. Interesting.
And you know what else is great about Rhode Island?
Oh,
we were founded So you can have freedom of religion.
I thought you were just gonna leave it there.
Get off the Wikipedia page,
Roger
please.
Williams gave us that. He looked at the Puritans of Massachusetts and said, "You guys are fucked up," and he marched south and founded Rhode Island.
That's gonna be great in the chat.
I also
There's not
played
gonna be any
another
controversy
game.
with saying stuff like that.
What'd you say? What'd you say, Sean?
Puritan anymore.
I played another game, but I can't talk about it. But on a completely unrelated
What?
note that has nothing to do with anything that I just said, I finally got the little box copy of Retromania Wrestling.
I need to wait.
Oh,
hold on.
nice.
I need to play that game still.
So it's not it's the pseudo physical version because I have problems and I order stuff. Doesn't have the physical game or whatever.
Oh,
That's
it's just a
limited
code.
run.
Okay.
But
okay.
but
You have
you
a
get a
box.
poster of the Too Many Games arena. You get a full color instruction booklet. You get some little stickers and stuff too. Nice little case. And then they send you a code when it comes out. I think it comes out on Xbox on Tuesday and
Is it on Game
possibly
Pass?
Thursday or early next week for the Switch because of certification.
Did they get the Game Pass check? So on he's asking if it was on Game Pass.
Oh no, it's not on Game Pass.
Oh. That's fun.
That's a shame.
I'll pick it up Tuesday. You said I'll pick it up
Yeah,
on the Xbox. Yeah.
I hear
I'll
it's
bet there.
it's very fun, but I don't know because I haven't totally played it on the Xbox Series X or anything.
Okay. Tell you what, I'll check it out on Tuesday though because it looks pretty cool.
Is Davey
Old school.
Richards
It-
making a comeback anytime soon?
He's a big part of the game. I'm not facing him right now in the game. I actually talked to him. I talked because I signed up because I've decided it's time to lose a little bit of weight. Signed up for his little fitness program that he has, but I had to do it at like 3 a.m. because he kept trying to give it to me for free like last year. And I was like, no. I was like, I'll buy it when I'm ready. And so I secretly bought it at like 3 a.m. And then he messaged me. He was like, why didn't you just ask me for the stuff?
So-
I was like, because fuck you, that's why.
So 3 a.m. was the time.
Because I figured like he wouldn't see it until the morning and all
Oh.
payment would go through and everything. So
No, but
yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay, very good. You said OJ, you play Plants vs Zombies. You have any thoughts
Yeah.
on that one? It came in when I was more interested in the idea of it being Frostbite on the Switch, but
Yeah, that's really the main reason why I even checked it out. Somebody like one of my reps saw, or Nintendo rep got somebody to give it to me. I didn't ask for it, so I just wanted to check it out just because it's Frostbite. And I did look at it on the Xbox, and definitely you see like there is a severe amount of detail removed. It looks nowhere near as good, but it runs okay from what I played. I couldn't play online, but it runs pretty good. It doesn't really have too many like frame rate dips. There are maybe some, but once again, I'm not Digital Foundry, so I can't be like, doing like what they do. But for the most part, it played pretty stable. It seems like the whole experience is there. It's called the Complete Edition, so it has everything in there. And I played it. Looks like it's the resolution. I think they said 900p for it.
Okay.
It didn't look too bad when I was playing it because I played it on my monitor here. I didn't play it on like my LG. But it looked okay and it runs good. It's fun. I mean, if you've played Plants vs Zombies, like the Garden Warfare, like it's a third-person shooter. You basically have like you're like a piece of grass or something. I'm not really like I don't know what the hell you are, but like you're like this like and like you're there's like dandelions and like you're talking to these like it's like a big hub area and like you just kind of go you get missions and then you just kind of go and fight bosses, fight just regular zombies that are there. I mean, it's a pretty fun game. It was my first time playing. Never played it on any other system. And I had fun. And there's like online. It features all the same features that the other systems have. So I mean, if you want to pick it up, you can. It's $40, digital or physical. There's a physical copy that you can get, and it's out already. So if you want to check it out, you can.
Okay, very nice, very nice. I think those are the big releases for this past week, and I'm sure next weekend we'll be talking quite a bit about Monster Hunter. So that should be pretty good. Evan, we got a Discord question or two to go over.
We got a bunch. We'll go with some hopefully
Let's
quick ones. RGT, it's been a while, but what is the meat of the week?
A lot of chicken, honestly.
This guy has
I'm
barbecue
doing-
chicken down as his, yeah.
Well, I'm doing a bunch of I signed up for a meal planner thing because I hate cooking. And I'm like, well, this is better than getting DoorDash all the time and all that shit. So I found one that was cheap, and then I found a coupon code for it. So it was like, I think like $43 for 6 meals, which is like a lot less than DoorDash stuff, and a lot of the meals are chicken, but they're actually pretty good. Like the food is good. It's all like done up and stuff, and it's like fresh. Like you put it in the fridge.
What
and
company
then you just
did you say?
Freshly Fit.
DoorDash is like a third of the price is the actual food. The rest of it, 2/3 is like everything else that they make.
Sean, it was big news this week for you. Later this year, there will be a Tomb Raider cookbook.
Well, hold on. That's part of the Squeenix event.
We are not going to touch on that topic. It took up 5 seconds in the show itself.
That was the best part.
It's a lie.
How is it a lie? They said Tomb Raider cookbook, and Tomb Raider's known for having really good food. That's what the game series is all about.
Tigers, you can grill those things up.
The game. It's like I don't.
She doesn't eat in the game,
it.
right?
Do you eat in any game?
Cooking Mama. I thought.
Well, no. In the new Tomb Raiders, there's like the first one, the reboot. There's like a campfire, and like at the campfire, you can she has to eat there.
That's right. Yeah.
What do you shoot a monkey and then cook the monkey?
What would make sense?
Like you eat a rabbit. You can hunt rabbits.
No,
Final Fantasy 15, like having something like that would make sense because that
I
game.
think they already did. I think they had
did they really?
One in Japan. I think there was a cookbook.
See, at least that makes sense. I don't understand the Tomb Raider one, but I support it.
Evan, what's another Discord question?
Outside of disk rot and video output connectors, which consoles will we still be able to play 35 years from now after the servers have been shut off?
Like from ones we're using now?
That's my guess.
NES.
Yeah.
I mean, right now it'd be like, I guess,
Jenny.
Switch. Yeah. GameCube.
I don't know
sure.
that disc rot is really because it is a thing, but they've also been saying it's going to be a thing for a very long time, and my discs aren't.
Oh, your Sega CD discs look all right?
Yeah, all my discs look fine. It's obviously something to think about 50 years from now, but I'll be dead by then. So I really don't give a shit about what kids are playing 50 years from now.
You will not be dead if you start eating healthy and exercising like you said.
I'll be 85. There is no way I'm seeing 85.
Dude,
don't you think your kids want to make play the Sega CD, make your own?
Don't you think
music video, CNC music factory?
The kids you're about to find out about.
Mine, so we left it at that.
All right. Understand?
Wait, what happened?
What?
What did you just say?
I said what I said. Moving on. She's now married and happy, and the kid has a good daddy and all that shit. So
glad we learned about it on this clearly focused gaming podcast.
Papa Sean.
What's another Discord question, Evan?
Another Sean question. Someone asking how he can get the complete Sega 32X guide signed.
It was easy when we had conventions.
Yeah, it was easy. Ryan from Castlemania had some of them. I sent him a bunch, but I'm not sure if they've sold out or not. I'm checking Castlemania right now. CastlemaniaGames.com. He may still have some. Okay, great. Go away.
You're making your way out to too many games this year, Sean, if it happens?
Yeah, if it happens.
There you go. People can come see at the end of the year. I think that's trying to do that at the end of the year. We'll see how that goes.
October, I think, was the current month. Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. But it's in Pennsylvania and kind of the middle of nowhere with convention center. So, and let's do one more Discord question, Evan, before we go to the Xbox stuff.
Is there a way to modify the Wii U to play physical GameCube discs?
Oh, that's an MVG question.
No.
Oh,
shot it down immediately. Not even letting us dream, MVG. Good.
Sorry.
Be too good.
That's too bad. That would be cool. We could pop it in and play. Okay. I mean, I guess if you have the game itself, you can, get the ROM image and everything. All right. So this past week, we had actually a lot of Xbox stuff happen, which was interesting because for a while there, I think the first half of the week, it was just an announcement every single day for Microsoft, mostly Game Pass related, but then they also have an event next week. But they started off with probably the best announcement they could have for this game. And Jeff Grubb mentioned this last podcast, right? If I'm not mistaken, that Outriders was going to be going to Game Pass day one. That's April 1st. And they already have the demo out now for Outriders, which several of us played, I'm sure, because it's out there. Why not? But the interesting thing about this is it is a third party game from Square that Microsoft obviously bankrolled for day one release. And it's good for Outriders because Outriders needed this, but it's interesting to think that Microsoft could do this for some other third-party games. What do you guys think about Microsoft breaking out the checkbook for this one?
I like Square Enix a lot. I play a lot of their games. I'm a big fan of Square Enix. So for me, and with this game, I thought it was a good deal because I don't think this game is going to sell for the price, even though it's on everything. I don't think this game is going to sell very well. Like, I don't think people are going to pay 60 for it, at least. I mean, if it came out and it was like 30 or 40, I think it would have done better. So it's a good deal for this game in particular. But I think that there's possibilities that we see them do some more stuff. I mean, they've had a good relationship with Square Enix too. They got Octopath Traveler recently on Game Pass, and now they have this game too. So I think it's cool for that, I think it's good that, and like, it's good for Square Enix because that gives them the confidence that like, hey, like people are actually going to try out our game. Because, like Octopath, most people probably wouldn't play it on an Xbox, but now that it's on Game Pass, more people will tend to try out the game, try out like a turn-based RPG. This game right here, it's not Call of Duty, right? It's not Call of Duty, it's not Gears, but it's still a cool looking shooter that you can just play for.
It does have that Gears feel to it.
It has a Gears feel, but it doesn't have the name,
No, the Outriders. Yeah, unfortunately, it comes out April 1st as well, and I think a lot of people have already kind of overlooked it at this point. But what'd you think, Brian? Did you try Outriders at all? And when you saw it go to Game Pass, that's surprising to see a game like that day one just boom right on Game Pass from a third party.
I mean, I love it. It reminds me of the sort of Destruction All-Stars deal on PlayStation. I think that like just completely magnifies the opportunity that a game like that has versus, sort of having to fight through the massive releases with every other game that of notable IPs that people already understand, like you guys mentioned. I don't know. I feel like shit is so different now. Like the games like this have a chance because we're all just home playing video games a lot. I mean, we always were, right? But there's a lot of people that I think that fell into that world, and I don't know. I'm all for it. I also I like when studios take a chance with new IPs like this. I feel like there was a window there for a couple of years that if you didn't have a recognizable title or like a number in your name, people didn't fuck with you, and that sucked. And so I'm all for people trying new shit now, and hopefully it finds an audience.
So I will say I've warmed up to Outriders a little bit. I played the demo a little more, but what I really liked was that the developer, that People Can Fly, have talked a bit more about why they're not doing things like they're not incorporating microtransactions in the game. They're not trying to be a live service with it, like we've seen with Anthem most recently. That didn't go too well. And they're more or less putting out, as they say, a full and complete game that won't necessarily need fixing, like we've seen live services release. So they seem to me to have the right mindset around this is a game that you can play by yourself, but it has full multiplayer elements to it, and it's not one we're looking to update every week going forward with like content that probably could have been there at launch.
The thing that I don't like though is that if they're gonna do that, which is great, it's like the game should be played offline too. Like I don't like I had to sign up for Square Enix. I had to do QR code and like this. I'm like, why can't I just play the game?
I think it had to do with that world.
And like it's like matchmaking 10, 9. It's only me.
Right.
There's no. Why am I waiting for match? I'm not playing with anybody else.
My one concern is that the future with that server possibly getting turned off someday.
Exactly. So like they should make it to where you can just play like they're talking about. Oh yeah, you can play it. Like okay, well then make it that way. Stop making it to where it's all like you have to be connected online. You have to be online to play the game.
They had that weird hiccup when they ported Doom to Switch, like the original Doom, and like you had. I remember I was like on the bus coming home from work, and I went to play it.
MVG knows.
And I'm like, oh, I had to like connect it to my phone to log into my Bethesda Net account, and I'm like, this game is 150 years old. This is stupid.
I'm gonna go back to playing this on the touch bar on my MacBook.
I mean the weird thing about Game Pass, I don't know if you guys are like this. It's the same way I am with like Netflix. I mean, a lot of us are old enough to remember like going to a video store to rent something. Like when you would do that, you'd be like, we're watching this motherfucker no matter what.
That's true. We're gonna beat that game. It's not gonna beat us.
Whereas on Netflix and on Game Pass, like if I get annoyed by something early on, I will rage quit out and bail and just delete it. And I don't have any like there's no feelings about that, because I'm just like I didn't have to do anything to play this, and I don't have to do anything to get rid of it.
That's a good point, actually. It's very disposable right then and there. Yeah, and you can I think there's a couple games. I'm trying to think of an example that I've probably deleted and downloaded like 4 times from Game Pass, just because I'm like, I'll try it again. I'll try it again. You know,
You want to talk about deleting and re-downloading? I've got the Series S, so I do that like every week. So
yeah, you still don't have that Series X yet, or you don't have the memory card. We got to get you one of those memory cards, MEG. It's actually very useful because I have the Series X downstairs and upstairs, so I just take the memory card back and forth between them.
Oh, that's awesome.
It actually works out better than I thought it would, because once you pop it in, it'll just add it right to the library with your account, and you just play like normal. And actually, I went from upstairs downstairs with the memory card, and my save was right there immedially.
So, no, I'm a big fan of how those systems communicate, especially after the Avengers shit this week.
With the PS5.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
a bit interesting on the PS5 and PS4, huh?
So okay, so this month, and then following up April 1st, there's a lot of stuff that hit Game Pass as well. This was the announcement, I think, the day after Outriders, so it was like Monday then Tuesday. But Yakuza 6, Squadrons, Octopath Traveler, and interesting enough, Evan, this would be a big one for you. I don't know if you've played it, Nier Automata on the PC, but the odd thing about that one is it's not the Steam version that's kind of broken. It's it's like a whole new port.
The Steam port is atrocious.
This one, yeah, Click knows, because you had to deal with that when you were trying to play it.
I was watching her play it. She seemed a bit frustrated
You
at
want
times.
to talk about wanting to uninstall a game? I haven't and I wanted to uninstall it.
This one's done by Q-Lock.
That's the thing about Game Pass. It gives the developers, because you have to basically rebuild the code to run on Game Pass. So it gives them the opportunity, if they should choose to do so, to add some fixes into the game. So that's why some of these Game Pass versions of the games run better, or they run differently than what you remembered. If there's an opportunity to do so, then they'll put in some fixes.
Interesting. So if you go to PC with a game that's not on Game Pass right now, but it's already on Steam, they could have the option, MVG, of like updating it or adding things to it, because they said they got Q-Lock and they did quite a few things to it to make it better. And now everyone on Steam's just confused as to why it's better on Game Pass. So that's an interesting bit of information. Okay, so some games Microsoft could have going forward get ported and just fixed up for the. Oh wow, that is a pretty cool benefit actually for Game Pass on PC.
Yeah, it is. It's really awesome.
Kind of upset now. Waited to play Nier.
Did you played all the way through it?
Yeah, but the fact that I had to install a fan-made mod to get it to run properly, and I didn't even know about it. Like if my chat hadn't told me, I probably would have pulled out my hair.
So they did add Octopath Traveler, though. That one surprised a lot of people. But I think at this point, I assume whatever deal Nintendo and Square had probably run its course, and Square's probably like, yeah, we're gonna take that Game Pass check again for Octopath Traveler. Which, you know what, it's probably a good thing anyway, because Octopath, the HD 2D thing is an obvious is an obvious thing that Square's gonna be doing, because we see Project Triangle strategy. So I think, everyone should try out Octopath Traveler. It's interesting that it's going to Microsoft's.
I think they got a couple checks for that game, because it went to Stadia, and I don't think they wanted to. I think Stadia paid them for that too. So they've gotten 2 checks. $10 million? Is that all it costs to port this thing? So they got to check from Stadia. They got to check from Microsoft, and the game is already on PC. So, and on Switch, they sold nearly 2 million copies on between PC and Switch. That turned out to be a very successful game for Square then.
Well, it had a lot of hype when it came to the Switch at the time, and it's not really that surprising. It finally has gone to another console. As OJ said, it's already on Stadia, and they basically made a prequel sequel that's only on mobile devices. So to see this go to the Xbox, it kind of seems natural for Square to expand the franchise. They probably want to make it into a bigger deal, and this is a good avenue for them to explore, because when you look at games, I think it's Yakuza Like a Dragon, because that game references Dragon Quest so much, people were playing the game on the Xbox and like, what's this Dragon Quest game they keep talking about? They went to Game Pass and they downloaded Dragon Quest 11.
Yes.
And now you have this. Now you have Square bringing the whole Final Fantasy line, Octopath.
We're still waiting for some of them, but
yeah, it's Square's leveraging Xbox in a really smart way with the Game Pass model, and you're probably going to see Square and Sega continue the strong relationship moving forward, because it's paid dividends for them.
How strong is that Sega relationship going to be, Nate?
It's going to get stronger.
Okay.
Go on.
No, I will not go on.
We're gonna get into that in a second too, because the other rumor, after we're seeing all these announcements happen for Game Pass games, and this came up on Twitter, and I think I might understand how this would happen, but Persona going to the Xbox on Game Pass.
Was the rumor Persona 5 or Persona 5 Royal?
I think it's Strikers.
Persona.
I think it's gonna be Strikers.
Do you think Persona is coming to Game Pass? And it was replied with a smiley face, and then that in turn led to Persona 5 being attached to it. So
see, Jazz
really
with these emojis out here.
Why not Persona like 4 Golden? Because that's on Steam.
I think that'd be good. That'd be a good one to have. Absolutely.
Any of them would actually be a pretty hype moment.
I think people just
went to Twitter and said, "We have Persona 4 Golden coming to Game Pass this month."
That'd be pretty
People
cool.
would lose their minds.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, immediate download on the Xbox. Absolutely, and it would probably get a lot of exposure for Persona to like an audience that wouldn't even think to try it out. It's so much easier to press download rather than like $19.99 or $29.99 or something, you know? So, and as Brian said, if you don't like it, there's no attachment to it. You'll just throw that thing in the gutter immediately.
It's also like, there is no such thing as not liking Persona. What are you guys talking about?
Oh my goodness.
What were you saying, Brian?
I was gonna say it's also from like the perspective of their social media blast. I mean, Xbox gets to wake up every 3 or 4 days and go, hey, this game's coming today. Whereas on PlayStation, they're like, once a month, here's our, PS Plus games of the month. They've also been doing that like play at home initiative, which gives you a bunch of free games, which has been awesome. I don't want to downplay it at all. But I think that like Xbox has done a pretty strong job of like sort of maintaining that kind of hum of just every couple of days being like, oh yeah, we got this. Like you mentioned at the top of the show, they basically just they just talked all week and it worked. Every single day they had new shit to show off, and they were like, here's our headset, here's our games, like here's a bunch of other stuff, here's a bunch of games coming to Game Pass day and date. Like it was very smart.
Yes, I think it was a good way to spread out the announcements. They could have done that all in one day, but they were mindful of it. They were like, let's have like a full 4 days of just announcement after announcement. So it was good. I would like to see Persona specifically because that there's still that thought that Sony and Atlas have some sort of deal in the background that keeps the number of Persona games off of any other console, I guess. So just to see it go to the Xbox would be interesting because I feel like Microsoft would write that check just to make it happen.
And I also feel that like going forward, I do think Persona is going to be multi-platform. I don't think that
it has to be now, right?
Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, we already got Persona 4 Golden on Steam, so that's it. I mean, if you look at like people talk about, oh well, Shin Megami Tensei, that's always Nintendo exclusive. Well, no, not really, because SMT3 HD Remaster is coming. They added a Steam version for that, and that's coming out in May. So there's Steam, PS4, and also Switch. And that usually, the past couple games, SMT4 and 4 Final have been only on Nintendo. So going forward, and I know SMT5 is Nintendo only, but that was their old thought process. Going forward, they already talked about this in their investor meetings. They're going to do more multi-platform because apparently it makes money to do that. I think apparently it does. So
dude, they were dead serious that they could not believe that it sold on Steam. They're like, we put Persona 4 Golden on there and it worked.
And it just shocked me. And it shocked me how I just want to strangle them sometimes. Because how are you shocked that one of the greatest games of all time in terms of RPGs is selling well at what is it, 30? What is it, $20? I think it was $24.
Look, you just got to buy a Vita, okay?
What are you shocked for, man? Like what? Doesn't make sense to me. So.
I also think because of the way that the Sony is kind of shifting away from Japan, most likely Persona will probably have to end up as a multi-plat for like Persona 6.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you're going to launch the game, it still has a big audience in Japan. There's not going to be enough PlayStations to justify that type of spend, in terms of, unless they go for a Western market, unless they completely change the focus, like Tales of Arise, and they change the focus. It's kind of more towards the West. Now let's add Xbox, let's add PC all day and date, They can do that, but I'm not sure if Persona fans. I don't know how Persona fans would react to something like that. So,
and then we have so the next week we have another Xbox event that's going to happen. That's March 26th. This is their indie showcase, but it also looks like it's going to have some larger games there as well on top of those games. 100 games they say is what they're going to show. So several different games there, but they pointed out
that's too many. That's too. Just you chill out. That's too. Nobody wants to hear about 100 games in one day. I mean, that's
100 games.
That's too many. It's just your brain shuts off after like 25 of them.
Throw it in a DMCA, montage or whatever.
Those montages do be getting like, you're not even done streaming, and something like, hey.
They listed a few: Second Extinction, The Ascent, The Wild at Heart, Void Train, XO1, and Stalker 2. Which I am interested to see more about Stalker 2 and Second Extinction. Actually, that sounded familiar. I looked into it, and
that's a dinosaur game.
That's the first-person shooter dinosaur game. So, like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, that could be a pretty good overall presentation.
They gotta have Gunk.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that game. That's
that's the Image Form game, right?
Yeah, Steam. Yeah, the Steam
World guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh right.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. 100 games. That's probably their name.
It better be. You got to get that update on Gunk.
And they also mention Game Pass games and announcements, so they'll probably shadow drop some games on the Game Pass that day during the presentation.
All 100.
You want? Go ahead. Hey, when they added EA Play to Xbox, and it was like check your recent tab. It was like 60 games or something all new.
Dude, that was crazy. That was so crazy that they did that. That's like one of those things. I was like tweeting about this the other day. It's like one of the few things I subscribe to that just gets better in value.
Yeah,
and not worse.
Yes.
Like Netflix, like doubled the price, and you go on there and you're like, everything here is garbage now. What did you guys do?
I got an update for Disney Plus the other day. I got an email. It was like this. It is now $7.99 instead of $6.99.
Yep.
And I was like, right in the middle of all the Marvel shows coming out. I see.
Yeah, good call. Smart move.
Space
knows out. Keep going up. That's gonna be like.
Are we supposed to get
the
game from Drinkbox is going to be at that showcase, right? They're the Guacamelee people.
Oh, they got a new game? What's
Yep. Drinkbox Studios.
Apparently a brand new IP, brand new game, just a whole new thing to reveal, which I'm excited for.
Nice. I like Guacamelee. I thought that was a pretty fun game back in the day.
This is 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern on Friday. So that should be actually a lot of fun. I'll be checking that one out. Looking forward to it. Evan, do we have any Discord questions over there?
We did talk about it a little at the beginning, but we had a guy ask why we continue to report on Outriders despite believing there is little to no hype for it.
Why do we keep reporting on it? Because it's like the next game after Monster Hunter coming up, right? And it's going to Game Pass day one, so
it's going to Game Pass day one. I mean, there's hype.
That's what makes it interesting.
Yeah.
I also at the same time, like, just because we think it doesn't have as many numbers doesn't mean we don't want to talk about it. I think personally, I'd like to see games do well. And if people enjoy it, if it's well made, and you think that the intention behind it is quality, like we're not sponsored or anything, but we can talk about games that we feel like could deserve a chance. Like, why not?
Yeah,
that's part of our jobs, right? Is like to sort of like elevate stuff that we're into, whether or not. I mean, the amount of like weird, obscure indie shit that I love that like doesn't do numbers, but I'm like always ringing the bell for because it's fucking cool. Like I think that's a big part of it, right?
Like Ski Sniper.
Also, this is Outriders. It's not
like Ski Sniper.
You cannot say that we did not move units of Ski Sniper.
We moved major units of Ski Sniper.
I moved units. I bought that game and talked about it on this show, and people started buying it for some obscure.
It's on the box, talked about by Nate Drake from Reset Era.
I 100% of that game because I wanted to get the crossbow.
Also, we talked about Balan Wonderworld, so we'll pretty much talk about anything on the show.
Yeah, that's in a better way. Why are we talking about Balan Wonderworld?
That's out. Sean, that's out next Friday, same day as Monster Hunter. I assume you're jumping to that day one, right? Immediately.
You've been hyping up this game for months.
I've now had a change of mind, and
what are you talking, Sean? Everybody on my channel loves you for this game, bro. We all whenever I mention it, we have to mention your name, bro.
Balan GT85, man.
Was that the most disappointing thing you've seen like this in the last year, Sean? Was that demo?
I mean, it's probably one of the most top 5 disappointing.
Did that hit hard? Yeah. Oh wow, Jesus.
And considering all the disappointing things I've had in my life, that's pretty big.
We broke Brian. Brian's broke.
And we got another Discord question.
Another Outriders one. With it being day one on Game Pass, what's the possibility of more companies taking this approach, like Outriders, and taking a lump sum up front?
A lot.
Secure the bag, baby. Secure the bag.
Yeah,
gonna be a lot of these.
I think it's very smart to do that. If you can get the money from a company like Microsoft so that you get more exposure for your game, because we've heard that Game Pass leads to more sales for companies, like why not? Like they'll probably cover a significant amount, if not all of the development budget. So
and it is smart overall, because we did talk about how like recently, I guess, games that don't have like the 3 or the 4 at the end of it, people don't give a shit as much. But free, play it, like go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll take a chance on it. Definitely.
There was what was it? Forbes just yesterday did a piece on Game Pass. I don't know if you guys saw it. They interviewed a bunch of developers. It's super interesting, and they talked to people who were basically like, this was kind of a worry a couple years ago, but it's working for us now. A and B, I don't really know like the metrics on stuff that launches day and date there, but in terms of resurfacing and revitalizing old games, like it's a really smart way to sort of just drag and drop something that is very much out of the public mind share, and then get a bunch of people to talk about something from 4 or 5 years ago. Like, yeah, that's fucking awesome.
That was pretty much the key point. I believe it was Mike Rose, the publisher and developer of Descenders. He was saying they put their games on Game Pass, and they might have been out on other platforms for a while, but once they hit Game Pass, people are playing it, and they say to their friends, hey, let's play this game together. And the friends will say, well, I don't have Game Pass. So they just buy the game to play it with their friends, and he sees his sales continue to go up, even though the Game Pass downloads are also incredibly high. And he's now a big advocate for the program. But initially, when it was introduced, he had concerns about game sales. And he says it's basically the polar opposite of what he had anticipated. He's seeing high profitability, huge sales spikes, and he's a big fan of Game Pass now, and he wants his games to go to the platform.
Totally.
I got to say, it's got to be way better now being a kid with something like Game Pass around, because back in the day, it was like Sega Channel, and that I'll be honest, that thing was not good. That thing was broken half the time for me. And even games like Mortal Kombat, you can only download half the characters at a time to play. So like for parents now who are like, oh, it's $15 a month, and like my kid can play all these games, yeah, sure, that's fine, let's do that. That's so much easier now than it used to be. So yes, keep doing Game Pass, keep adding stuff to it. Absolutely. Evan, we have another Discord question, then we'll go to PlayStation VR controllers.
We have a guy with a PlayStation Portable. There's a stuck cross button and a jank analog stick. Would it be super difficult to fix, or should he just buy a new system?
You said PSP?
Yeah.
No, that's actually easy to fix, because the
analog stick is a whole piece, right? Like that's
its own piece. Depending on which model it is, the 1000, 2000, 3000, it either plugs in or it just sits on top of it, and then the button,
probably just have to clean it,
plugs
I guess. Yeah.
I mean, it's all modular. You can just replace it with brand new pieces, which might be better anyway because it's not expensive. It's like the parts total would probably be about $15. That'd be cheap. Then you just gotta open it up without breaking it.
Good luck.
So yeah, you do have to handle that screen, I think, for the cross button. So we did have PlayStation VR 2 controllers revealed. Okay, so I was a little confused about this one, because they said they weren't going to talk about PlayStation VR 2 at all this year, really, and then just randomly during the week they were like, here are the new controllers.
Honestly, I think they're trying to get some momentum back that Microsoft have had all week, and they decided to do this.
See, I'm thinking, I get your point on that, but I'm thinking it's because we're nearing the end of March. Their fiscal year is coming to a close. They want to build up a little anticipation for the coming fiscal year in terms of potential announcements. We'll probably see the headset get detailed and shown in the later half of this year. I think this is just a way for them to cater to investors, to say, we do have our new VR solution in the works. Here's our controller. Yes, it looks like the Sony Ericsson logo, but we're working on this. It's coming, and just excite people a little bit on the prospect of the future.
So I almost wondered if the way that they have their controller set up here, which I can go down some of the specs, I almost wondered if they put that out because I feel like we're probably gonna get another setup from Facebook with their Oculus brand, and probably I think something maybe from Valve or HTC. And I almost wonder if they wanted to get their controllers out there, because if they wait until after them, it might look like that they're copying or mimicking them more, because this is an interesting controller when you look at how they do that, like that ring in the back there that's for tracking, because the other ones is either on the side of your wrist or on top of it. Right. This just like goes around your wrist, which is really interesting for tracking the way your hand is going to move. But this they have features here: adaptive triggers, haptic feedback. I don't think that surprises anyone to hear about that, but finger touch detection. So that would be, I guess, haptic or capacitive touch on the on the bar itself there that you see when you're holding it. So it will be able to tell where your fingers are exactly. Tracking through the VR on that ring on the bottom there. And then they have action buttons, one button for grip. So if you got to grab something in the game. And MVG, what does this all mean?
Half-Life Alyx, baby.
Half-Life Alyx. Yeah, that is
PlayStation 5. That's what I want.
I think that's a launch game for this thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be huge, and that would be massive if they could pull that off. I'm here for it if they do that.
Jordan couldn't handle it. He had to leave.
It feels like one of the reasons that this. Well, first of all, I want to say real quick, it's been truly bizarre watching PlayStation do most of their announcements on blogs on like random weekday mornings. Obviously, that's a part of the world we live in now. You know. As we navigate these uncertain
Remember when
times.
they just dropped the controller online? They're like, here's the PlayStation 5 controller. And it's like,
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, shit.
Right.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Shit like that, where you're just like, that was like a Sunday morning or a Monday morning or something. It was just super weird. But also I think they're getting dev kits out to people, and it's better to control the messaging here and go, here's what this, these weird hand thongs look like, rather than have somebody tweet a picture from there. They look like, okay, I don't know if you've seen pictures of people holding these things. It looks like a guy just stole a bunch of underwear.
I've seen a picture of it, but that's not what came to my mind. Like, oh yeah, some thongs from my hand.
How many times were you dropped on your head as a kid?
Yeah, it does look, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
It looks like a freaking female tank top. The controllers look like a thong apparently.
Yep.
I mean, I have to agree with Brian on this one. They
dropped
totally
Oh, you got it. Okay, yeah, you got them.
There we go. Yeah, it looks like a guy stole underwears. I don't know why I said underwear.
Now that image is in my head, and now that looks like that now.
Okay, so this is what I'm talking about.
So I decided to I decided to try out the VR headset again for the PS4 on the PS5 after they made this announcement. I was like, let me go back to this. I hadn't played it in a while, and we have those free games that are coming up here. They're dropping. I haven't played Paper Beast, for example.
You had to order like you had to mail away for like a bunch of like
they had a cable
parts and stuff, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I did get that because Nate reminded me, and they just sent it to you. I think it's like one per headset or something. I think it was by your serial number, something like that. But I tried it out, and that headset is archaic. Oh my gosh, it is. I cannot wait for this revision, because I'm sure. I mean, the PlayStation VR headset was cool when it came out, but now going back to that, dude, it's so low. Like the resolution on it's so low, the screen door effect is so obvious, and the frame rate, even on the PS5, I was a little surprised, was like acting up a bit. So I just think a lot of the games aren't really designed at all with the PS5 in mind anyway. So like the nice thing about these systems now is they are able to do 120 frames per second just outright. You don't need a booster box or anything. So I think we'll get much better experiences with the PS5, and now I just want that like now, because even we're using these the Move controllers.
Oh man, yeah. No, it's such like archaic is the best way to describe it. It is a last gen sort of like early to market VR kit based on these funny clown nose controllers that shipped to ape the Nintendo Wii remotes that we're still using in 2021 on next gen consoles if you get something in the mail. And that's not even including like the breakout box and there's like 6 snakes you have to plug in. It's a fucking pain in the ass. Like,
and I lose HDR because I have the first gen one. So
me too. Which I like. That annoys me to the point where I like basically unplugged it forever. But I'm super excited for this. I want them to like. I was a little bummed when they said there's gonna be one cable, because I have like the Oculus and it's none.
The Quest.
Yep.
Yeah, that is really convenient.
But I'll deal with one cable versus like 6 or 7 or whatever.
Yeah, because I assume it'll be probably the experience would be much better, obviously, because it's like the PS5 versus the chip that's in the Quest. But I mean, if you have like the link for your PC, then it's still technically one cable. But like, if we can eliminate that booster box and stuff, it'd be so much better. So I'm curious because now we see these controllers, and now I'm really curious about what the headset's going to look like. Two-toned, I guess, still to go along with the PS5.
Two-toned, probably a little smaller. A sleeker looking thing. And I mean, they still hopefully I want Resident Evil 8 to be a launch game.
Ooh. Yeah, that would be good. That would be
really good. The last PSVR feels sort of like fundamentally more in there's the style guide of the PS5 than it did anything last gen, because it's all white and black, just like their new controllers and the new console and stuff like that. So I'm wondering if they'll go with that that sort of colorway again, that motif. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. So
I'm thinking like more like a visor for the actual like headset itself. We're not going to have the whole dome piece over our skull and all that. They go for a nice clean visor look. You have the controllers. Hopefully, I mean, VR is still going to be a very niche thing. It's going to be incredibly, high price. We're probably looking at a $400 accessory.
You think it's 4? I bet you it's 5. With those controllers and the headset, and they probably throw a game in or something. I bet you it's going to be 500. It's probably going to be the cost of the system.
That's a tough sell.
Yeah.
They need to get VR's price down. They got to get that entry affordable to really make it meaningful to the market. Otherwise, it's going to continue to be this small niche market appeal where you're not going to get those huge exclusives and meaningful releases to actually make VR something that the community wants to adapt to. And like PSVR was a good step, but price was again a problem.
So if Sony was serious about VR and really wanted to take a shot at it, I think if they built their own Oculus Quest at a more affordable price, that would be better, because I think this headset is going to be, they're going to design it. But you all right, Sean?
Yeah.
Okay. They're going to design it more like with enthusiasts in mind. So I think they'll go higher in price, but I think Brian is right about that Quest being more appealing for the mainstream. And if they had been able to get like a Sony headset out that's all in one and it's $300, I think they would have something there and they could market that heavily. But it would be their other system. So it would be, I'd be curious if Sony be willing to go after something like that and design a chip that's all in one for it. And I would like to see them do it, because they have the best selling headset on the market now that's technically pushing it along, and it's this old piece of junk. So I would like to see them try to do that too. But
yeah, me too. I mean, I feel like if you like VR, it's exciting that the console manufacturer that's leading the sort of generation in sales wise, or at least was last time, is doubling down on VR. Like that's good news for you, right? Because it means that people are still taking this shit seriously, and it's not just like the skeevy Facebook company. So, like that's good. That's good. I'm happy about that.
That's true. I can use it without having to sign into my Facebook account. Gosh.
Hey, we got to wait for next gen Labo. They're gonna get higher quality cardboard.
Is that no Sean? Okay, good. I was gonna say, is that the only VR? No, Sean has a Oculus Go.
Yes.
Okay, good. Because for a while there, the only one you've ever used was Labo, and I was like, oh no, we got to get you something else. That's good though. Okay, cool. I'm excited to see what the headset looks like. You think later this year, Nate, or you think there's next year, like early next year?
This year.
Next year.
Okay.
Sure. I think they introduce us as far as showing us what the headset will look like. It's not releasing this year. They're just going to introduce.
You know, what'd be cool is if they get like haptic feedback in the headset itself, and they can make it seem like rain is falling on your head and all of this.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, they could do some really cool stuff.
That's awesome.
Because I bet you they'll have like audio, set up as well to kind of go along with it in the headset. Oh, there's some cool stuff they could do with that.
Well, I have a question. Like, if we're talking, into next year, I've personally been looking at getting into VR, but to me personally, like all the differences is kind of overwhelming. Is this something that you think I should just wait on and see? Or is this something I should act on now and then maybe later on upgrade?
I kind of feel like, that's a good question, because I almost feel like you should wait and see, because the one nice thing about the PlayStation VR is its ease of use, because it's designed to work for the PS5. So it's like you plug in the cable and all the software they have is there. But if you get something like what Brian has with the Quest, you can also get a cable to plug it into your computer, and it will act like like a VR headset for your PC. So, and it's cool because some of the stuff like Super Hot or Beat Saber that work just on the Quest is really cool. But I don't know. I mean, maybe it might be worth anyway to wait, because we could have new models of the Quest, for example, come out later this year. Yeah. So it might be worth waiting to see what Sony has. As well, unless there's a VR game you really want to play right now, which the only one I can really say is an absolute must play, according to a lot of stuff. It's got to be Half-Life Alyx, and that I assume is a launch title for the PS5.
Yeah, just that and Beat Saber is my only pull right now. So I kind of want to see if we're getting
really worth it too.
I've heard a lot of recommendations, but it's like 3 games. Like I'd probably play Beat Saber the most out of all of them.
Astrobot.
Yeah, Astrobot's really good.
Astrobot's good. Rez is good.
A lot of people suggest Boneworks to pick up if you have VR.
I'm just kind of cheap though, so will it be worth the money?
Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7. You can start with that one.
Seven, great. I mean,
Don't.
Batman's fantastic.
Batman's super fun because there's like a mirror in the game, and that's one of the funniest things you will ever do in VR.
Dude,
it's like you walk up to a mirror as Batman and just like, oh, it's so fucking.
That was so fucking cool the first time I experienced that.
Yeah, Batman was awesome the first time. There's a lot of good VR games. I mean, it's really talking maybe 24 overall, but they're really good experiences overall when you really are able to immerse yourself in the VR experience.
Is it cool for the novelty, or is it cool because it's actually good?
It's a genuinely good experience. Resident Evil 7 in VR is phenomenal.
Yeah, I played the entire game through and through on VR exclusively, and man, it was something else. It was so much fun.
Good to know.
It's I've always said like my favorite thing about VR is it takes like completely mundane shit from everyday regular video games and it makes it quasi interesting or extremely interesting. Like in Batman VR, there's a part where you can just like pick up a clipboard and flip it over and then just like throw it across the room. And if you do that in a regular video game, you're like, yeah, whatever. But in VR, you're like, fuck this room.
Yeah, in Boneworks, those simulator games are so great. You know, like Job Simulator and whatnot. It's nonsense, and you really don't have to do anything. But it's just funny to mess around because you can't go to an office and just be like, oh, your boss is there. You can't just flip your computer over. You know, but in a video game, you can. I don't know. It's stupid, but it's fun.
In Boneworks, I was watching some streamers play it. They would pick glass bottles up off of counters, throw them in the air, and try to shoot them in the air. It was great.
I will say this, everyone who's watching now, they're going to have that Play at Home initiative from Sony. As long as you're signed into a PlayStation account, you can claim the games. And Astrobot, Paper Beast, Moss, Farpoint, I think there's something else in there, but Farpoint. All of these VR games will be there. So to me, you might as well claim everything you can that's on there, including Horizon Zero Dawn. And if you get a PS5 later this year and you get a headset next year, there you go. They'll already be there for you.
Saves that whopping $10 that it would cost you to buy Horizon.
Hey, a good game's a good game. A free game's a free game, right, Sean?
Not wrong.
Sean will still be too lazy to turn on his PlayStation 5 and claim it.
No, here's the story.
Oh boy,
I had to turn on my PlayStation 5. When was it? Yesterday. Or was it yesterday? Sorry. Yeah. Or no, it's 2 days ago. Because 8-Bit Eric was like, hey, I got this game to play, and it's online only, and there's no one playing it. It's for PlayStation 5. I was like, fine, whatever. So I couldn't find a USB-C charging cable, and it was driving me nuts. And the system was like, oh, we have to update. Oh, we have to update the controller. It's like, fuck's sake. I'm going to play this shitty indie game with Eric for 10 minutes so he can make a fucking video on it. And I have to do all this shit. And the game came out on the Switch as well.
But hold on, it's a USB chart. Don't you have this for the Switch too, though?
Yeah, I didn't realize it until after that. The controller's dying. I'm like, why do I have its USB-C? I'm like, well, my Switch is. And I was like, wait, why don't I just use my Switch plug? And I was like, this is great.
They're all USB-C now.
I'm so happy about that. What a stupid little thing that we all landed on just one type of like what the fuck? We were talking about the PSVR before. That was one of the more annoying things about PSVR is that it used the Move controllers used the the
PS3 one, the micro,
micro USB. Yeah,
which is just
that's where they came from, right? That's where they originated, if you remember.
I remember they had disc golf, I think it was, for the original like PS3 Sports something. There was supposed to be like Wii Sports. There's disc golf, and you could
shameless
just like throw it that way, and it's so funny. We got Discord question over there.
Outside of the remakes we have coming, what other Pokemon games would you like to see remade? This guy suggests things like Pokemon Ranger.
I was gonna say that Pokemon Ranger for sure deserves some love. If Mystery Dungeon out of anything can get a remake, all right, Ranger needs to get its due. Ranger is fantastic.
No comment on Mystery Dungeon.
And here's the thing, Diamond and Pearl is coming out. Back in the day, Ranger had a big tie-in with Diamond and Pearl, where if you beat Ranger and did everything, you got this this egg that you transferred to the main Pokemon games, and that's how you got the mythical Pokemon Manaphy. So
we need Red and Blue remade. That's never happened.
How many times do you want those remade? How many times do we need remakes of those? You know,
never seen it done before. No, let's
remake Pokemon Conquest.
I knew you were gonna say Conquest.
I don't think Conquest needs a remake. I think it just needs a little bit of polish to just put on the Switch. You know,
re-release it. HD those sprites.
Now let's talk about Pokemon Dash.
No.
Okay.
Let's not talk about Pokemon Dash. Let's leave that DS launch game forgotten with Yoshi Touch and Go.
Let's
Come
go.
on.
It was a different era, man.
What?
You guys remember
Canvas
the,
Curse? You gonna shit on Canvas Curse as well? Canvas Curse is a fine game.
Canvas
That's
Curse
actually a
fucking
good game.
rules. That's a great
Yoshi's
game.
Touch and Go was just let's draw balloons and clouds.
There was when they were previewing the DS for press, like basically every game was just like scrub the touchscreen as fast as possible. Like they had a Sonic the Hedgehog one, but it was just like a 3D model of him. You just had to like beat the shit out of his back, and he would just run, and like that was the whole game. Like, and I was like, are we heading in the right direction, like video game wise? Like, is this where we want to go, really? And like the DS was fucking awesome. I love the DS, but
come on, that Sonic game would be like 100 million downloads on the iOS shop.
yeah.
Luke says, Brian, thank you for entertaining me for the better part of 10 years. Listen to NVC during the Wii U days with Audrey, Rich, Pear, Jose,
The dark
etc.
ages.
Daly says, Nate, the hate body pillows when? Nate, that's going up on your Shopify soon, right?
A body pillow? Yeah,
Nate,
we're gonna sell.
Nate, I
50 of them.
got you.
There's
I got you. We got this.
Kevin's already designing them right now. They will be fully detailed.
Platt says, hey, SpawnCast, happy to report that I finally got a PS5 2 days ago. Question for y'all, do your PS5s have coil whine? I've noticed a little on mine.
Mine does.
I haven't noticed mine yet, but for some reason my PS5 won't die. I don't know why. I've done some horrible things to it, and it just continues to run. So
I thought my PS5 died the other day.
Really?
Playing Demon Souls, and I was going in to fight a boss, and the system just froze, and it locked up, and I could hear the sound effects and everything going on in the background, so I was still getting killed.
That's happened to me multiple times.
I had that so often early. Those first 2 or 3 weeks of the PS5, I was terrified of that fucking thing. I was like, this thing is freezing and just like it would make weird noises. Like you would put it in rest mode, it would never wake up. Like I was like, I can't just go get a new one, you know?
I still don't trust rest mode on that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's been in rest mode since it came out.
And what's really funny is
I'm that guy. It's always in rest mode.
I don't I've literally unplugged the fan to overheat it on purpose like 18 times.
Really?
The thing's still alive. It rolls along fine. I got the different faceplates on it. I put the sticker on it, all stuff to it, and it still works fine. It's very strange. I must have gotten a weird one because I do hear a lot of issues with some of these PS5s.
I put faceplate. I brought my faceplates to an auto body shop and got them like car painted, which was fucking nice. Super fun. Yeah, it was great. And I think everything's normal, but every now and then it just goes like. And I'm like, what? What are you doing? Like,
Sony's always watching.
Is there a ghost? Like, yeah, it's bad.
And Swift X Miles says, is OJ here today?
How much did he give you?
$2.
Yeah, it's not enough.
I don't know if I'm here or not.
Alexian says, I'm probably one of the few who's getting Balan instead of Monster Hunter Rise on the 26th. What can I say? I'm a bit sadistic.
Hey, I'm with you. I pre-ordered a copy.
Derek said, well, you might want to pre-order because it might end up being one of the rare games on the
That's
Switch.
what I'm saying. I have no intentions of playing it, but I can't wait to leave it on my shelf and go, I bought that.
One of the reasons I got that Cooking Mama blockchain game over there sealed.
That's why I bought it.
That's going to be a great investment in due time.
You know, Hades came in, but isn't it like a limited physical?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I bought it so that I could play it, and I forgot that I bought it, and it came in. But then I was like, didn't I see people saying this? Was like, I'm not opening this because it might be worth money one day, and I might need money.
There you go.
They said that was that one of their first physical games from that studio too?
I believe so.
Supergiant doesn't do many physical games.
They see a lot of digital success. Yeah.
Yep.
I think Hades has sold really well for them, so I mean, it made sense for them to do it with this game.
Good game.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Isn't Nintendo distributing Hades though, or is that just in Europe?
I think it's
I don't think it's the US because I bought it and I don't think Nintendo's distributing it. I don't
think it's in one. I think in one region they are. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know they're distributing it. They're not publishing it. They just handle the distribution, kind of like they did with Doom and Skyrim.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they might be, but I'm not sure for the West.
Oh, I see, Sean. Thank you. This is from Dark B Andy with the big $100 donation saying Yuji Naka was pleased after the delay and redesign for the Sonic movie, yet he can't delay Balan Wonderworld to make a good game while fans are still supporting it after the awful demo. Brian IGM was wrong. It's not Sonic himself. It's Sonic fans has never been good. All caps. Jeez.
Damn.
I mean, man, that's tough.
I don't think I don't think there's anything I will ever be able to like stay as far away from as that the time I said Sonic games weren't good.
I say that like once a week. Okay.
Yeah,
and that's why your rooms are exactly the same.
Add one.
Yeah,
I'm legit. Like I'm probably like one of the like probably the most like politically outspoken people at my entire company, and most people are just like, yeah, that's fine. But the 8 years ago on a podcast, I was like, Sonic games aren't good, and I will never. That's fucking put it on my tombstone. That's it for me.
I am with you. I am with you, man.
We don't have to do it again. It's fine. I'm happy people like those games. I personally do not. I dug Generations. Sonic Colors was fun. Some of the 2D stuff. I legit found a picture of me when I was a kid, like a little kid holding Sonic 2, and I'm just like, I'm smiling and I'm happy. I've tried, man. Like fucking
you should try
What about
making it back
Mania?
up.
What did you think about Sonic Mania?
That was good. It was good. It was pretty good. It was fine. It was all right.
You should try picking it
I
back
just
up
don't
again.
like
Brian,
traditional
with,
Sonic games. So
This just like the best Sonic game is like not as good as the worst Mario game. See, there's another soundbite. I'm fucked.
So you're telling me that
Mario is missing? God damn.
That doesn't count. You know
Mario's
that doesn't
time
count.
machine
OJ, you know, okay, OJ, you know those don't count. Come on, that's not
Sunshine.
That's
Come
it.
on.
Come on, you're gonna tell me
Oh,
the best Sonic game is better than Mario Sunshine?
Mario Sunshine, is
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
say
would
that.
play Sonic 2.
I'm gonna say that. And I'm pro
any day.
graffiti, and I love Sunshine.
Oh,
so you're
You should try picking up Sonic again with Sonic Forces. Give it a second chance.
So tell me that you've played Mark Echo's Getting Up. Then tell me you've played.
I
that
have,
game.
of course, I have. Yeah.
I remember that.
You love that game, right?
No, it wasn't. I didn't love the game.
Whoa, have you played?
Pro graffiti, huh?
Wait, Brian, have you played Hotel Mario on the Philips CDI?
Oh,
Okay. This is not fair, and all of you know it. You can't just keep bringing up these CDI games.
Did any of you ever wear Echo clothing?
yeah.
I did.
No.
I did. I had Echo. I had Mecha. I had all that
I had
shit.
Mecha. Yeah, no, I mean, I was like really into
Yeah.
South Pole for sure.
I wasn't big on South Pole
Yeah,
because I don't know. In my area, South Pole was kind of looked at as like a B tier. Remember the Machiavelli clothes when they would show up at TJ Maxx? Me and Elijah used to drive to TJ Maxx like 40 minutes away and stock up on all the Machiavelli shit.
Yeah,
because nobody was buying it.
No, I was a big hip hop guy on the East Coast in the '90s in the tri-state area, so I know this world very well.
My clothes were way too big. You guys don't want to see me when I was in high
Oh my
school.
god! Don't make me bust out my high school picture with the XL tall tee and the fucking.
I look
huge
like crisscross.
if I can find this picture on my phone, I'll send it to the chat.
shout out to Dark B Andy.
It's on my phone. I mean,
No, I'm my photo of South Pole.
Oh.
This is from Chris. Congrats to Misclick on 100,000 subs.
Hey, congrats.
Hey.
Awesome work.
Clicky.
Thank you.
OJ next up on 100K subs also.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Welcome back, Sean. SpawnCast always goes above and beyond when Brian joins the show. Is OJ on the SpawnCast? That
Thank
was
you.
$10.
Was it 10?
Yes.
Pay the man.
Oh yeah, I'm here. What's up, man? How you doing today? Glad to be here.
Xbot Killer says PS5 better than X Trash. Jay Grubb. Oh, no, I'm like a last name based there. Jay Grubb agrees with me, by the way.
Xbox Killer, you need to chill out, buddy, in the chat there.
I mean, he paid $1.99 to say that.
Just relax, man.
Imagine paying $1.99 to say that.
Patrick
mean.
says, Patrick says, take a shot every time you die on Crash 4. Alcohol poisoning. Yeah, that'll do it. Console Gamer says, good question. Oh, guest question. Okay, guest question. This is for Brian. N64 or GameCube?
Ooh, man.
Say the right thing here, Brian.
What would I say, Brian?
Well, which one has the least amount of Sonic games? I think really. No,
And
just kidding.
And there's your answer, boys and girls.
I'm just kidding. That's a really tough. I want to say that GameCube has like a better diversity of games. Like there's a bunch of really fucking amazing games on GameCube. Got a lot more interesting third-party support, but like it's really hard to go toe-to-toe against like some of the individual games on N64. Like Ocarina of Time and Mario 64 are so good. The original Paper Mario is so good that it's really, really hard to get that close. But that's a really good question. It's a really good question. I'll be debating that until I'm dead.
It's very easy for the GameCube.
Yeah, is it GameCube?
You can play
N64.
GameCube.
N64.
N64.
Okay, let me ask you guys a question. Let me ask you guys a question. Would you guys want the same type of variety ever again for a platform in the future with the N64? Would you guys ever want them to repeat that? Like that low of variety for a few good games?
No.
Nobody would ever want that. Nobody would ever want that.
Yeah.
No,
we already had it.
No Splinter, no Splinter Cell, no Fire Emblem, no Metroid. Just such a lack of variety, lack of RPGs, lack of everything. Like
Ogre games.
There was no Metal Gear. There's no Splinter Cell. There's no anything.
Win Back. You had Win Back. That was sort of Metal Gear.
The Resident Evil games suck. The Resident Evil games suck.
You just tried to sell me RC Cola, man.
Okay, I will say that like I liked. Man, this is a tough one. Okay,
yo, Brian, name a better third party game than Resident Evil 4 on N64.
It has a handle.
Oh no, I can't. I straight up.
It's not even close.
No,
I can.
How about Beautiful Joe?
Called WWF No Mercy. WWF No Mercy.
Stop it.
No, OJ, I'm totally with you. So like, I probably will go GameCube. I will say that there are like the N64 has higher highs in some very specific departments. The fact that the GameCube has it's got, you know, Resident Evil 4, it's got Resident Evil Remake, it's got Beautiful Joe, it's got Killer 7, which I love. I think it's totally slept on. It's like one of my favorite games. It got significant third-party support. It's fucking a bunch of Metroid Prime games, or one good one and one okay one. Like there's a lot going on there.
Any Metroid Prime games on the N64? Oh,
no, just a canceled one.
Oh,
GoldenEye.
I remember. How about Tails? Tails game? Anybody like Tails? Oh no Tails.
Look at
blame Nintendo for that because they fucking went with cartridges and pissed off everyone.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
MVG is so disappointed right now.
Also, I will say,
I just love this whole. You know, none of you guys bought the GameCube when it came out because it sold like 1,000 units or something.
I did. I went to the New York City Nintendo GameCube preview event, and I thought I was the coolest motherfucker in the world. I was living there, I had no money, and I went there, and there were like 8 games on these big ass. I played Pikmin before anybody else did. I was like, I can't be buying video games anymore. I'm too broke. I'm in art school. I gotta get this shit together. And I went to that event, and I'm like, I'll eat ramen noodles for 3 months. I need a GameCube. I need that little purple box with the handle on it. Like, give me that motherfucker.
You just insulted my child. I'm gonna go hug it.
GameCube, it's Bay.
Yeah, it's a really good system. So one thing too that we didn't mention is the Super Game Boy or the GBA adapter thing.
Yeah,
that you would like the fact that for like one of the very first times. Oh, there we go. That's I had the Resident Evil 4 Platinum GameCube too. I think it had like a little four on the lid.
Those are hard to find. That one actually is kind of. I was looking at some of the special edition GameCubes recently.
Yeah, Char Comet Red still the best.
Mm-hmm.
I had the black one.
Oh, by the way, it also had a really dope Capcom versus SNK EO, like 40 something characters. Back in the day, that was like the Smash Brothers, right? Like, I mean, we had Melee, but I mean, like, it was like for them, it was so crazy seeing that many characters, you know, on screen, like back in 2001 or whatever, you know.
Right. And Wind Waker, man, I fucking love Wind Waker. Like, obviously they sped it up, they cleaned it up, but like, I remember being.
That was a fight online back in the day.
Dude, I was about to say, do you remember that? Do you remember how fucking insane that was?
I do. I remember how insane that was, and Metroid Prime was.
Metroid Prime was crazy.
I'm not gonna lie. My parents didn't have money for internet growing up, so I like didn't have it until I was in college.
Yep.
I legitimately did not know how much hate there was for specific video games for like the majority of my life. So when
AOL was wild.
When I finally got internet and people were like, Wind Waker's I'm like, hold up a minute. Like, I'm gonna go back into underneath my rock. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm just gonna go and enjoy my games.
People think
I feel bad for those people because they're obviously wrong and they know it now.
And here's here's another soundbite that people are gonna bury me with. But I really think Majora's Mask fucked shit up for a while because that's a good game, but I think that was a darker take on Zelda. And so after that point, I know, but everybody from that point on was like, Zelda has to be dark.
Oh yeah,
it's gotta be like mysterious and evil and grim and sort of a little edgy. And then they came out with what they called Zelda at the time, or what fans called Zelda, Wind Waker. And they're like, it's a fucking cartoon. I hate this. And I was like, I love this. It's like all the concept art for the original Zelda looked like cartoons. It was all drawings. It was all like. It looked like children's illustrations. It looks like, Tolkien shit. And
Toon Link's my favorite.
Yeah, me too. And then I'm glad he, endured. And they make Toon Link is his own character now, right? Like he's his own dude.
Yeah.
And so
that's why Phantom Hourglass is still the best.
Oh, and that's why it's the best Zelda game ever made.
Yeah, thank you.
That's okay. The GameCube N64 debate rages on.
Yeah, it'll never
debate.
It's a really good debate. It'll never end.
Give me Double Dash ported, and I'll be happy.
Double Dash kind of. Oh, click. Double Dash cooks it.
Yeah. Give me Star Fox Assault multiplayer online with remap controls.
Star Fox 64 was better.
Oh my god.
Sean knows what's up.
It had in shoulders better.
The multiplayer was much better on Assault.
Can we say Star Fox's Adventures is bad here? Are we in a safe space?
No.
We like
game. What? With that fucking little Triceratops?
I was actually just playing that game last night.
What?
Yeah, because I have a new GameCube HDMI adapter.
What do you think about it, John? Do you like it a lot?
Well, I actually was alright with Adventures back in the day, but what's really funny about it is it's one of the better games to test these HDMI adapters with, because in AV none of the characters have like strands of fur, but if you use an HDMI adapter, they do. But I actually think for visuals, Rare actually did a very good job with it back in the day, because it still runs. It runs at 60 frames per second.
I just hate Crystal's voice acting. It was so annoying.
Yes, there's some very annoying parts. And now that I'm looking at it, like now after seeing all the history about it, you can tell where they copy and pasted stuff and clip things out and put things in. So it's very obvious.
Star Fox Assault was just a beautiful game too.
I like Star Fox Assault.
Like between the actual gameplay and the actual cutscenes.
It's what we all wanted, and no one bought it. So
F-Zero GX is way better than
F-Zero GX is batshit crazy.
Freaking amazing.
That's legit one of the hardest games ever made. Has to be.
F-Zero GX is awesome, man. Such a great game.
This is from Wishbone saying Codemasters has dirt news tease. Oh, next week. Okay, 3.0. Anna Studio says society has progressed by the need for Rhode Island. There you go, Nate.
A lot of people disrespecting Rhode Island. It's a great thing. We were in Uncharted 4. Was your state? No,
I don't know.
You were in what's it called?
Eternal Darkness.
Eternal Darkness. That's right.
Yeah, where you GameCube fans at now? Disrespecting my state in one of your prime games? Yeah. What's up?
Yeah, you're just giving us more ammo. We didn't mention Eternal Darkness.
No, everyone said Rhode Island sucks, and then you said, "Oh, GameCube's better." So now, by default, GameCube sucks.
I never said Rhode Island sucks.
When I lived in New York, I had an ex-girlfriend. I had a girlfriend at the time that lived in Rhode Island, and which sounds like a lie that people would say.
My girlfriend lived in Rhode Island.
I used to have to go on the bus from New York City, which is a real place, a real city, to go to Rhode Island, which is bullshit. And in the winter too. And it just makes you hate the place, man. It's just Rhode Island in the winter is just fucking sad. It's just a sad place
too. Why do you have so much seaweed there?
Yeah, what is with that?
It's just all over the place on roofs.
I lived in North Carolina and we went to the ocean for the first time. I was like, "Where's all the seaweed?" And my mom was like, "There isn't any here." And I was like, "Well, why the fuck is there so much in Rhode Island?" We used to have to go to the beach there. I'd rather go swim in the Sound.
Where did you go? Westerly? Taylor Swift lives?
I was a child. I don't know.
Well, we have a lot of different beaches. We have Westerly, Narragansett,
and they all have seaweed.
Nate's a Taylor Swift
all
fan.
All of them have seaweed.
90%.
A lot have seaweed.
Why?
That's when we come out.
50% seed, 50% wheat.
Kyoto Somo says, are any of you familiar with the Mega Man Battle Network series and hoping a collection is announced tomorrow for the 20th anniversary? Criminally underrated series as one of the most fun gameplay loops I've ever played.
I'd be down for that.
Yeah, I think it'd be great to have a collection for a Mega Man Battle Network. Absolutely.
I don't trust Capcom to do that though. So yeah.
I need them to make Mega Man X9, but they'll probably do another collection because they like collections. So, sure, Mega Man Battle Network would be cool. Absolutely.
Well, I don't know if they're going to announce it.
I don't know if
they're
No.
Brian, do you have spicy Mega Man takes as well?
No, I love Mega Man. He's great. Good dude. Love his friends and the robots and his dog. Good stuff.
What Resident Evil game would you recommend to a person to start the franchise?
Oh god.
Besides what?
Well,
What
just starting
Resident Evil
out.
game would you recommend to a person if they want to start the franchise?
I'm walking away
4.
now. I'm walking away.
4.
I mean, I said 4 in 2021. 4. Play 4 or any of the new ones. I played every Resident Evil game as they dropped. It's pretty hard to go back to them in the modern times unless you grew up with them. Like Resident Evil Remake is one of the probably most incredible games ever made. Like I think story wise, graphics wise, gameplay, it's fucking awesome. It's also like if you didn't grow up struggling with tank controls and getting good with them, I think it's tough to approach that for the first time. But then again, people say the same thing about 4. So honestly, I would say play 2 or 3, then play 7, get your sea legs and play 4. I don't agree with that order personally because I play through 4 3 or 4 times a year. I fucking love that game. I just did every January I wake up and I'm like, I'm gonna play through Resident Evil 4 2 or 3 times. Like
that game was originally on the GameCube. I just want to let you know.
It was.
Okay. No, just
it was. No,
playing with that controller.
I'm giving it to the GameCube. I'm giving it to GameCube. I think Mario 64. I think Ocarina is better than Wind Waker, and Mario 64 is better than Sunshine. But otherwise, the GameCube wins.
Resident Evil 4 plays best on Wii.
It does.
It was still a GameCube game though.
But who has
it
one of
doesn't
those?
play at all on N64. So I mean, like,
Why does
Resident Evil 2 does
have gyro controls? Is the real question.
That sucks that they didn't do that, man. I'm totally with you.
Definitive edition.
I'm totally with you on that.
And this is from Swift Miles saying, I got a big question. Why is Silent Hill Shattered Memories on PS2 so expensive?
It's expensive on everything, isn't it?
It's expensive everywhere. Yeah.
When did it come out?
It came out on the PSP, the Wii, and the PS2.
Yeah.
It came out on the PSP. I'm pretty sure.
I think it was.
It came out on the PSP, right?
And it wasn't a big to do release, even though the game's fucking awesome.
Right.
Super underrated. It was very different from the other Silent Hill games, and I guess Konami probably just didn't have much trust in it, so they didn't put out that many copies.
Well, it was a reimagining of the first Silent Hill.
Right.
This is from Liam saying prediction for the next Smash Fighter.
Here we go.
I think there's a difference between hopes and predictions. Like what I hope for, Sora. What do I predict?
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash and Sora would be like to me the dream answer. But
I'm pretty sure I'm the next character.
Finally.
I'm gonna go with another sword fighter, baby.
Another sword fighter.
We could use another sword fighter.
Another sword fighter, and it's Ryu Hayabusa. I'm definitely gonna go with Ryu.
That would be cool.
That would be fucking.
Hey,
awesome.
is that fucking physical for Ninja Gaiden only in Japan?
It's only, but there's gonna be quite a number of copies, and Play Asia has.
I pre-ordered it last night on Play Asia, but
okay.
I kept looking for the American. I'm like, where is it?
Yeah, no physical release for Western market.
Interesting.
Okay. But there's plenty of copies on Play Asia, guys. So if you want a physical one, just go pre-order it there. You'll get it. But
does it have an English option in the game for that and everything?
Yes. It's all set. It's just they're just being cheap with it when it comes to the Switch.
This one's from Matthew saying Rhode Island still sucks.
Yeah.
Adam says I have been watching videos by Heavy Eyed about the environmental impact of the video game industry. Do you think Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo should be pushing to reduce plastic in physical games?
I think they should be adding more plastic.
They kind of whales. But they kind of started to back when we were at the old store, because if the cases started getting looser because they had that like disc cut out with the holes.
They had like the cutout. Yeah, they had that pattern where they took a lot of the plastic out, so you pick up the case and it'd feel like it was just missing the middle of it. So they've been kind of doing that, and I guess the cases. I guess
cases
kind of got
smaller.
Yeah, with the Xbox. Yeah, those were some serious cases.
And the companies overall are trying to push digital sales more than physical.
Yeah, let's be real. Everything's going to go digital in the future anyway. So eventually there won't be any of that kind of plastic out there. Michael says, Paul Zack Snyder's Justice League to watch y'all tonight. Keep up the good work. Liam says, I'm a little behind, but RIP 85.
No, because I'm gonna die before I'm 85.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Darren says, did Jordan have a blue SpawnCast 200 edition hoodie last week, or was it purple like on the site and it was a trick of the light? If blue, how do I get it?
Light. Just trick of the light.
Jordan, always tricking people.
I'm tricking people.
I have my shirt on, say SpawnCast.
I'm wearing
the
the
international
version. I
version,
got the 100 and I got the 200. You know, I got it.
At the height of like the amiibo craze, we went to Nintendo headquarters and shot a bunch of videos. Like we were playing Splatoon and stuff like that for like a preview event, and we bought a bunch of stuff from like their, I don't know if you guys know, they have like an internal store at NOA that's basically just like the New York one, but just run by staff, and you can't film or anything in there. But we went like on a shopping spree, bought a bunch of stuff, and I got a Mega Man amiibo because it was like hard to get at the time, and we went outside and shot a video on it. And yeah, and for some weird reason, like the color correcting in our video was kind of off, and people were like, that's a gray Mega Man amiibo. It's a rare variant that you can only get in the Nintendo store. And we were like, no, it's not. That we just fucked up. And they're like, no, you're lying. And so it was like a whole thing. Yeah, in the amiibo community for a minute where people were like, there's a secret amiibo that you can only get there. And I was like, please don't.
There was a similar situation that myself and another YouTuber I was traveling with at the time, Alex C&D, we were in Seattle for PAX West 2017, and then we went to take a tour of the NOA headquarters, right? Because we knew someone who worked there, and so we saw the secret shop that everyone was talking about that doesn't really exist but exists, and we go in there, and there is a Joy-Con box up there of a darker blue than normal. So then it became a whole thing online because of a still in a video and then extra analyzing of what this was. And then the coolest thing to me was when we went in there and I found that they were selling just the statue of the sword from the Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition that came out that year. I'm like, you just buy the sword for $50? I was so confused. It was
fuck, that's so weird.
But it was kind of surreal. So I bought one thing from that store that said it was from that store just to prove that store exists.
Yeah,
a lot of people were at that time were like, it doesn't exist. I'm like, oh.
Cool thing about that store is that there's like a back area to it that we weren't allowed in, but it's a massive library of pretty much like every video game ever. And not just Nintendo stuff, like weird third-party stuff on other platforms, so that employees can go downstairs and just kind of like Blockbuster style take games out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you get to? There's a secret floor that they only let us poke our heads out and see. We're not allowed to actually go on, but it's like a storage unit of every like cool and rare Nintendo product that has come out throughout the years. Like I got to see the room was open when we looked out of I looked out on the like second or third, whatever floor we had that we couldn't get out at. And I was like, I think I just saw something. I thought it was, and I looked it up and it's like this completely like rare vintage set of like Pokemon toys. And I'm like, how do they just have this sitting in a room? Like it's no big deal. And we couldn't see it. And I was like, if I can just spend 5 minutes looking in that room to see what they had.
Oh my God.
So cool.
That's so cool.
This is from Matt saying, Brian, say what? Yep, Brian is here.
What?
Samson said, just surprised they're here. Samson says, finally got me a PS5 from March 18th drop. Been trying the past 999 restocks. Yeah, I'm starting to hear more and more people are at least getting a PS5, so that's good. J2 Blue says, I personally would love for Nintendo to release a Breath of the Wild cookbook. Pretty cool to see that. Spyro's
such a big part of the game, so that would be different.
Yeah.
They need to have like 3 or 4 recipes in there that are the ones that are like so bad they're censored.
The dubious.
Yeah, like when you fuck up.
Yeah.
Spyro just starts listing a bunch of, I assume, things to back up Nate. Viola Davis, Seth MacFarlane, Rhodey, Boo Kurt Schilling, Abeer. There you go.
Viola Davis is an incredible actress.
Yeah, she went to Rhode Island College.
There you go. That Dan guy said, anyone played the Dark Side of the Moon? It's an FMV game from a small indie studio in Wales, UK.
They were talking about Pink Floyd.
Which is one of my favorite records ever. It's Wales Interactive.
That album is amazing.
Dude, I remember. Never mind. I'm not going to.
Let's hear it, Sean.
Come on, Sean.
No, man. Like when I was in high school,
is it incriminating? Hold on.
No, my girlfriend went off to college, and she was going to college in Charleston, and me and a friend of mine was wanting to go to college in Charleston next year, so we drove down there, and I just remember like getting baked out of my mind and like sitting in her dorm and just listening to that whole album. And then some dude came in like looking for her, and I thought it was like some dude that she was cheating on me with, so we got in a fight. It wasn't a great trip, man.
Wow.
So you got into a high fight. So I mean, what was going on? I'm guessing you got your ass kicked.
No, like it was pretty even. He was just like some nerdy college dude or whatever. But like I remember it was like then I got in an argument with her, and then I was like, fuck this, I'm leaving. It wasn't a good trip, man.
Okay.
Charleston sounds fun.
Ross
Yeah.
Ross says playing Persona 4 Golden on my new to me Vita. This game is good. Why am I so addicted to play this game? Why am I enjoying grinding in an RPG? It's just the power of Persona 4 Golden
anymore.
Well, it's been a long year, man. You know.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Persona 4 Golden, if the music's good, the gameplay's fun, then the grinding's going to be fun. You know, so that's why it works in that game.
Xbot Killer asks, how much did Microsoft pay you guys? Yeah, MVG, how much they pay you, MVG?
I wish. Serious, can we get a game? Can I be on Game Pass for some?
Yeah, we used to advertise Game Pass a lot, and then
that Paris dude got
put me on Game Pass. I'll take their bag, please.
What do you mean? What, like a picture of you or like a video? Like
I don't care anything. Just
they gave me a pin.
Put me in Madden. There's a lot of black people there. Put me in Madden. I don't care. Put me in something. I don't care. Just give me the bag with Game Pass. Please sponsor the show.
I like the idea. They're just like new to Game Pass. OJ is just a photo of you downloading. People are like, this game sucks. It's a good photo.
It'd just be a theme. Just be a background theme on the. Oh, that'd be great.
Oh man.
No, the game is just OJ sitting there, and it's just a question that says, "Is OJ on the SpawnCast?" And it says DLC, pay $5 to find out, and you pay the $5. It's just yes.
Yes.
And if you don't pay $5, you pay $4. It says no.
Noah says, I have always wanted to ask if Mr. Orange Juice will be in the chat today. He paid $7.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, the chat. Well, I haven't said what's up to the chat yet. Me typing there. But what's up, chat? What's up? I usually say what's up to the chat. Like I usually go like, what's up, chat? You know, but I haven't done it yet. But I will very soon.
Rascal says, I'm thinking new Pokemon Snap could use the Labo VR as a camera. Yes or no? I think it'd be a cool feature. So like,
I think Nintendo needs to get rid of Labo.
I think they kind of did.
But here's the interesting thing: if the new Switch they use the OLED screen, it looks that much better. I don't know. It might be interesting to see what that would look like in like a Labo VR, just to see.
I'm not a Labo person, man. I'm just not.
New Switch.
Brian says, RGT and Nate, how much faith do you have in the AEW game, the main one?
A lot.
Okay, there we go. Spyro says, hey, RGT, Kenny Galladay, DJ should be excited.
Oh, yeah. Giants got him today.
Oh,
so
there you go.
Sports. They've been doing good in free agency.
Sports. Ross says, other than Shin Megami Tensei 3 and 5, do you think Atlas will release anything else on the Switch? 13 Sentinels, Persona games, others. What are your betting odds? I kind of think Persona is going to find its way there eventually.
Absolutely. There's definitely going to be a lot more games just in general, but I do think that we could see this is not confirmed or anything like that, but I think Etrian Odyssey, I think that's probably one of the if you want to mean like a new game, I think that they're going to bring that to Switch at some point.
You're talking about that leak. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Etrian Odyssey.
No, I'm not.
But you are.
But I'm not.
Maybe.
Should we talk about that Square Enix event real quick?
Yeah,
Sean, didn't you like the event, Sean?
That was ass out of a million.
But it was basically what they told us. Like they already told us what was going to be there.
But
like
they
exactly.
Also said there was going to be new games and stuff. Now of course,
technically
was definitely the
highlight. There were new games. Okay, we had a Life is Strange right? True Colors, that was there. That's
how the fuck are you gonna call that game and not have the True Colors song play in the trailer? I remember in high school, the science teacher, we had to like do this assembly once, and she like for some reason sang that, and it was like, what the fuck is going on? I thought it was a bad.
She didn't have to pay royalties, man. She did it for free.
I see your true. Got hit with that DMCA real quick.
Yeah, right.
And Nate, you said that I should be trying Life is Strange, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Strange 1 is a fantastic game, but you may as well just wait for the remaster.
I was gonna say I saw the remasters coming. That's what I should grab, Nate, is the remasters and just play through those. Okay.
Life is Strange 1 is a fantastic game.
How long is it? Is it a long game?
If you 100% it, maybe 12 hours. If you just go through it without taking all the pictures and stuff, you could probably go through it in about 6.
I just can't see John playing Life is Strange. I don't know why.
I genuinely enjoyed.
Why not? I just played Star Fox Adventures last night. I'll play anything, obviously.
I have not played 2. I did not like that. Like I said last week, that little in between Before the Storm prequel. I thought that's where the writing got a little bit pretentious in a lot of the stuff they're trying to convey. And what I've seen of the third game, I kind of feel the same way with the writing that they showed. There's a couple moments where I'm like, all right, like I get what we're going for. Like there's some cool stuff in there. I like the mystery. I like the powers, but I don't know. There's still something about the writing and the way the guy presented it. Can we just talk about the guy who was talking about it? It was
orgasm
like,
guy.
You're gonna feel this game, and this game is you're gonna be in this game. I'm like, bro? I'm more interested in you as a person now than whatever you're showing.
The way he was talking was
OJ?
Called him. My chat said that he sounded like he was having an orgasm the whole time he was talking because he was like, "In this game of life is true." He was like talking in some type of like way that it was just like, why are you talking like that, bro?
Then they did show Outriders and Balan Wonderworld just to remind us that they're coming out.
No, they didn't just show Outriders, mind you. They showed you 11 minutes of Outriders to start off the show. Fuck off. I hate shit like that.
we've kind of already been playing it.
Extended demo of the Avengers.
Okay, so
see Hawkeye do a bunch of nothing.
I'm curious about the Avengers because they did the next gen patch as well, and
yeah, they fucked that up.
Well, get it if you're on the PS5, they did, and I'm on the PS5, and I have not tried to move that save data over yet, and that's going to be an adventure, I hear. So, I feel like they feel the need to keep this game alive because it's the Avengers, and it probably costs them a lot of money.
Yeah.
So
I re-downloaded it today to try it on PC again. Uninstalled.
I played through it once and I was like, I just don't feel the need to keep playing this. I mean, the one thing I was going to wait for was Spider-Man. That's the reason I got on the PS5, but now that's coming out in the summer, I believe. They showed the expansion for Black Panther and I'm like, that could be cool. All right.
That's not coming for like a while.
That'll probably be end of the year.
End of the year, yeah. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to re-download it and get everything checked out once that comes out.
Good luck.
I feel like with every games as a service, my whole thing is always like, it launches and I'm like, I'm not ready for this yet. This game's not ready for me yet. I'm gonna wait until like it gets its shit together, and then it kind of gets its shit together, and then I'm like, I missed the bus. Everybody's level 99. I'm too late, and then it just moves on without me.
They made it worse with this one because they extended the grind or the ramp up to the end of the game, which is weird because the idea of these games is to get to that point and then start having fun with everyone. So.
I've seen people in the forums talking about playing Hawkeye after that update, and they've said that the leveling process isn't that much longer.
Oh, okay.
At least according to them, it doesn't feel that much longer. But I loaded that game up. It was like an 8-minute first load. I just sat there staring at that load screen. Yeah, and then I got into a mission. It took like 2 extra minutes. This is off my solid state. And I was
that's interesting.
Got in, started fighting. The fighting still felt janky, and I just stopped.
Who are you using?
Iron Man.
Okay, he's the best one too. That's the funny thing. And it still felt bad.
Yeah, it didn't feel good. When everything you're hitting doesn't like actually, you just see big explosions from missiles and they're just like, fuck that. And they just go through it and slap you around. You're like, oh, I don't want to play this game anymore.
I think I quit once. Black Widow, I thought she was going to be so cool. Then you start playing and they're like, man, this just sucks, man. Like this is just bad.
Spider-Man, they can't mess up Spider-Man.
No, they can.
Spider-Man's got to be okay.
They can fully go.
They messed up Black Widow pretty bad. Like she's awesome and she's trash.
When you hit the unibeam on Iron Man and it feels feels like it does nothing, you're just like, cool. I think I'm done with this
and
game.
the thing is, like, Spider-Man has he has a visual identity with, you know, there are multiple modern recent video games where you're like, this is how Spider-Man feels. Whereas I think the other Avengers got sort of a pass because like no one's played like an Iron Man game, a third-person Iron Man game in a very long time. You know, it's been a minute since we've got like a Hulk game and stuff like that. So I think a lot of people are going to bring baggage into Spider-Man.
That's a good point. A lot of expectations for the movement of Spider-Man, and a lot of disappointment's going to follow.
You got to get that right.
Good. We know it's not going to be as good as the Spider-Man the games that Sony has. We already know it's not. So
because I mean those are all about like you are open world flying through the city and then you dive bomb into a group of thugs and beat the shit out of them. Oh no!
Like, are we going to have a stunt double then for Spider-Man's secret identity too in this? Like, are they gonna have Peter Parker as like a whole other character model?
They should just take the old face since they replaced it anyway.
They can kind of do it.
That would be so funny.
Maybe they just won't show him. Maybe they won't even deal with that. They're like, no, it's just Spider-Man's just always in costume. We're not dealing with that.
No Peter Parker, just Spider-Man.
I mean, they can just do it similar to Ultimate Alliance 3 and just keep it.
Just keep him in costume the whole time. Just Cause Mobile. I think a Hitman mobile game as well. They did the Tomb Raider Definitive Survivor trilogy. I'm not really sure why that exists because like it just bundles all the games together, and I think 2 of the 3 are already on Game Pass anyway. I believe. I thought those were going to be next gen enhanced ones, but I think it's just a bundle you buy for $20 right now that's on sale. So
yeah, I think that's it. It's just them sort of ringing the bell, being like, we still got this franchise.
Great 25th anniversary celebration. It really came out all guns blazing.
Yeah, that's such a bummer, man. I was like,
they said it. That's what pissed me off. Like, this is Tomb Raider 25th. We're celebrating with a statue and a cookbook. Like, what?
Okay.
What about game? And she's coming to Fortnite.
Well, that team most of that team moved over to Avengers, right? Or a lot of that team did, which is just like such a bummer. Because I personally would rather have like a 20-hour brand new, single player Tomb Raider game than
absolutely.
An endless games as a service kind of bloated Avengers thing
that we don't even think about too much is these games as a service games will tie up some of these studios. It definitely almost. So like you just talked about what Crystal Dynamics or whatever, and they're just stuck doing that. And it's like, man, it'd be really cool if they did another Tomb Raider game or something. I don't know.
Yep. So, also, I felt crazy because they showed off that Bubble Bobble trailer. And everyone was losing their shit on Twitter, and I'm like, I played this on Switch in like 2019.
That's been out for a while.
Yeah.
Like I know because I went to import that game. It was a fucking pain in the ass to like try because I'm a huge Bubble Bobble fan, which is weird. But I went to hunt down that game when it first came out. Like, how do I download this digitally? I have I bought like currency in a different region and shit like that, and like I reached out for a code through like press outlets, and I was like, I want to play this game. No one else cares about Bubble Bobble as much as I do, and it just didn't happen. And then they talked about it the other day, and I'm like, I played this already. I feel crazy.
I think it went to Steam, and then they also just put the PS4 and Switch version next to it.
Right. Yeah. They released that big for a PC release, like a Steam release. So that was like it felt weird because I thought, okay, are they doing like another one? Like I was thinking like, oh, is there like more? But no. Same game.
Just support.
just the PC.
Well, we did have the big announcement at the event was that Project Athia is going to be Forspoken now. And I think that's still set up for 2022. It's also coming to PC as well as PlayStation 5, and it's going to take full advantage of next gen, so PS5 only, of course. And this is from their Luminous Studios. And what they showed, they've only shown small bits of it, but like visually, I think the game looks amazing.
Yes.
Like it looks tremendous.
Yeah. Visually, it looks amazing. The only concern, and I shouldn't even use the term concern because it's so far out from release, is the fluid motion of the character is astonishing. Those environments are barren. There were nothing in any of that desert area. It's just
it looked like extreme hiking. Like it was like a guy who was just like, yeah, fuck this trail, and he was just like whipping through his
off these fucking cliffs.
I almost wonder if we're gonna like they showed that dragon in the beginning. I almost wonder if we're gonna be fighting against these large creatures as well in the world. The way that the character was moving, it almost seemed like you'd be able to scale the side of a large creature very, very quickly at times.
It makes me think when I look at that game, I'm thinking like, are they doing this open world huge thing just for open world? Like, would this be better if it was just like a action type of game that was a little bit more closed off and like they focused on the combat? Like that's the one thing like I agree with. Like it looks great, but that's the one thing that I was thinking. I was like, man, maybe like they Do we need this big old huge empty open world when you can just do this in a regular action game like a Bayonetta style game?
Well,
or like
it depends.
You know,
I mean, Shadow of the Colossus did that with the massive open world, but the monsters you fought used it. So maybe we'll see that.
I mean, it's tough to gauge because for all we know, the purpose of that trailer could have been to show the movement of the character and the speed and what you maneuverability. So it's tough to say. But what was curious is the official listing for the trailer mentioned a code name Witch, and Witch was the code name for Agni, the PlayStation 4 tech demo that the Lumen engine highlighted a decade ago. So it's created some speculation of, is Agni going to make an appearance in Forspoken as a witch?
Yeah, that'd be cool as hell. That'd be really cool. The game looks gorgeous. Like I want to know more about like what I'm doing moment to moment, but I'm intrigued for now.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a next generation game, so I'm happy to see that start getting those kind of games out.
It looks better visually than Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, I would say so. From what we've seen for 16 so far, I would say so. Yeah. And let's that was the big thing for the event. Evan, we got Discord questions there.
Oh yeah, we still got a few left. We got a guy who thinks that gaming
now before we finish Evo.
We got a guy that thinks that gaming peaked. I think he thinks this, but that gaming peaked around the 7th generation. He's wondering what our take on that is.
What was the 7th generation?
That's the problem. I mean, we've talked occasionally about not really being able to define proper levels of generation, right?
I mean, it's the PS2, Xbox, GameCube era that is heralded as the golden era of video games, and it's largely because of what the PlayStation 2 brought to the industry. But that's 20 years ago now. We're old, so the current generation could be the golden generation for the up and coming, fans.
It's 7th generation. PS3 in way.
No, God, no, that wasn't peak then.
Yeah, because 6th generation was GameCube, PS2,
PS3, 360. I mean, 360 was a fantastic system in its first few years, but I wouldn't have said the industry peaked with those.
Personally, I think that we're in a really good day and age for gamers. Like, we have so many games that we're overwhelmed. We literally have a service that people can try out games they never would try out otherwise because they have too many other choices to choose from. Games, again, like you said, unless they have a number or a AAA title behind it, like we're not gonna even give them a try because it's like I have so many other things. I have a giant backlog. Indie games are getting more attention than ever. We literally have directs and presentations just for indie titles. Like, there are people aspiring to be going into gaming as a living. We have people who play video games for a living, who review video games for a living, who talk about it, like who take things apart. I honestly, I don't know how you could think that we're still at the peak, in my opinion.
Like
everybody's stuck at home, literally playing video games.
Yeah, like when something like recently, like Valheim selling 5 million in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
No, I think you all nailed it for sure.
I'll make the case for us passing the peak is when Brian mentioned that we're getting a lot of companies are concerned about taking as many chances as they used to because we get a lot of sequels and stuff. I feel like if we're going back to the PS2 era, for example, that Nate was saying, I think there was a lot more creativity then for developing and creating games than there are now. I feel like we get things that we call AA games now, those games that kind of just fit in the middle somewhere. That was like, we were getting games like Mr. Mosquito back on the PS2 where you play as a mosquito flying around a house, and like that was advertised in like what were they called at the time, EB Games and Funko Land and stuff as the next big release, and it's like, you play as a mosquito, all right, I'll try this out.
It's a tough thing to say because I mean the peak is going to move generation to generation as far as the age group of gamers is concerned. You could look at the PS2 era and say it was kind of the renaissance of gaming. This is where you saw a lot of that experimentation and creativity come forth from developers, and you had all these new franchises be born. Now you could make the argument, that's where it peaked, but there is no definitive definition of what you want to consider peaking. I think Switch, someone could say it's peaking now. It depends on your age group. So many other factors.
Well, in terms of, I would say that like we've definitely been sort of bumping our heads against the ceiling in terms of not necessarily like innovation, but revolution, in the same way that where there were generational leaps that were seismic, right? Like the first time you played a 3D platformer, there's nothing like it, right? And like VR came close to scratching that itch. And we talked about that a while, like for years now, in terms of like, they put out next gen consoles and they were largely iterative of the ones before that. And there was obviously a lot of quality of life improvements that happened along the way. But in terms of like something that's just like this shift that makes you go, holy shit, I don't think we're going to see those for a while. But we gain like sort of small growth across the board. And I think that like the idea that people are less likely to take weird chances with AAA games is absolutely true. I think a lot of those are designed by committee, but I think you do still get like millions of weird ass video games every single day, which is cool as fuck.
And as time goes forward, the tools to make the incredible sized games become more accessible to smaller groups at a faster pace, which is what gives us really incredible things.
Yeah, that's where we kind of need a clear definition of what you want to consider as peaking. Like just in the last 2 years, we had a game like Untitled Goose Game, a title that wouldn't have been able to exist 20 years ago, and it's
Ski Sniper.
Right.
Stop bringing Ski Sniper.
I could see a Goose Game running on the Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
Ported. Coward.
Yeah. I think too, like the older you get, the more you realize a lot of people conflate very significant moments in their lives with like being the best, because you deal with more bullshit as you get older. Like the best game that you've ever played was the game where you didn't have to worry about getting your fucking taxes done in that month.
When you were a kid, you were carefree. It was you could sit down on a Saturday morning and play the game for 2 hours and have fun and talk about it with your friends. It wasn't the game that you were playing after going to the accountant and saying, I'm going to kill this fucking character because I have $1,000 this year. It's
exactly.
So for us as kids, getting that N64 controller with the analog stick was holy shit moment. But now a kid getting a Switch and docking it and playing on the TV, that's their holy shit moment.
Oh yeah. For sure.
It's cool, but we're in our 30s. We have other shit to worry about. We can't.
I'm running
40s. OJ, you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, depending on the day.
You look great, OJ. Though you take care of yourself, which is good.
And you'd be like, "This is the greatest thing ever." We're beyond that point. So
I feel like this could be like a whole podcast on its own. The peak of gaming. When was it?
Depends on your age and where you were at the time.
Maybe we'll revisit this in the future, Nate. All right, maybe on the other podcast.
Spawn Point.
Evan, yeah, Spawn Point. There you go. Evan, we have another Discord question. We'll just go through them real quick.
Oh, we can tear through two, I guess. Two people were wondering about the possibility of Microsoft purchasing different companies. One, Konami. Two, EA. Thoughts?
God.
EA. Wow, that would be funny. I mean, here's the thing. Roblox, I guess, would be harder to buy than EA almost.
Yeah.
It was Konami
and EA. Yep.
They deal with too much gambling stuff and other things outside of gaming. They're not getting bought by anyone.
Microsoft wants to get into the gambling business.
If Microsoft wants to make a splash, buy Sega. Then we'll talk.
The Roblox thing that shocked me that
was hilarious, wasn't it?
Right? Like, I was like,
doesn't shock me. My daughter plays. She's addicted to that crap, man. Like she's got me buying Roblox.
It's worth it.
I was on Roblox for her.
Here's a Roblox.
I mean, to be fair, that's what people ask about half the things in the stock market. What is that?
Yeah, right. It's like a Lego looking dude, but it's basically like a custom game. You can do like whatever you want.
It's at its core. It's just it has like a visual style, but then you can turn it into other games, and people do that. Yeah, you can play them.
You can play hide and go seek. You can go bowling. People can just meet up. You can do whatever the hell you want.
There's like there's all kinds of COD mods on there where it's basically just COD.
What the hell it is?
I think it's like probably one of the ugliest looking, immensely successful things ever made, but also but I will give it credit because it is, I genuinely feel like it's creating an entire generation of like budding game developers. The fact that you can hop in there and just be like, I'm making my own Call of Duty tonight with these shitty Legos is great. Like that's super cool because you got to start somewhere, right? And I think I really truly believe that a lot of people who are playing this game right now will make games that we play in the future and our children will play. Like I think there's something awesome about that, but goddamn, it's ugly.
Well, my daughter thinks Roblox is the peak of gaming. So
there you go.
She like her and all her friends, they all think Roblox is the greatest thing in the like. Legitimately, she argued with me about Roblox, about how good this game is. When
tell her the GameCube's better. All right,
I tried to tell her the GameCube's better. I tried to. She said, "No, Rob, can you do this?" and she swerved in like her pink Barbie mobile. I'm like, well, I guess you can't do that. Like, she like. So,
Nate, Microsoft by Sega, right, Nate?
No.
By Sega.
Microsoft is not buying Sega. They're going to use Sega for future Game Pass deals.
By buying them.
They're not buying Sega.
So they've already bought it. What you're saying?
We'll wait for Matt Kanderman to write a Bloomberg Terminal article about Sega and Game Pass, and then we'll go from there.
Just a question.
Which do you think people would like more, an underwhelming Switch revision for $300 or a true Switch Pro for $400?
True Switch Pro for $400. I like that. I like the sound of that. Although I'd spend more than that for it to be good. So
I mean, that's such a vague question. What does each entail? You have to tell me.
That's a good question.
You know, because do you consider what's coming out something that is going to be less powerful than the PlayStation 4 Pro? And you know, with a better screen, with probably DLSS on it, with up to 4K upscaling, because to me that's good. But if like it all depends on what you
same system with OLED, $300. Same system with OLED and twice the power for $400.
Twice the power in terms of what though? What is that power getting me?
4K upscaled, 60 frames per second.
You can see Mario's like.
Is it redesigned?
I don't know. I think
it's
horrible.
horrible.
Cut out by it. It was actually really funny because you were like, you can see Mario's, and it just cut out while you were saying it.
I'll leave it there.
It's a live sensor.
Yeah, that was good.
We'll keep it that way.
I want to know what Brian's looking at.
I said you can see Mario's leg hair, which is somehow worse or better than anything any of you imagine. I said.
That's another Discord question, Evan.
Last one. Which game coming out for, I guess, Xbox Game Pass makes you think, wow, I'm actually concerned for the future of PlayStation? Like, I don't know.
Which game coming out? Oh.
At this point,
nothing for like the
foreseeable future.
Yeah.
No, I'm like the only thing that would make me go, ooh, that one would hit pretty hard. If they bought like a company like a big company like a Sega or something. I mean, we said it with Bethesda and they did that.
What does Sega do in terms of game sales anymore? Like,
well, I mean, they control Atlas and Persona. So they would take that away immediately.
But that's not a big enough thing to make you concerned. PlayStation 4 sold 100 and something million. Persona 5 is not one of the best-selling games on PlayStation. There are a host of games that have done insanely better. And really, it went down to $20 before people even really started buying it.
You know what hit really hard is if Microsoft bought Square.
Square would be a much bigger deal because Square has Final Fantasy. You know what I'm saying?
To truly hit them, it would have to be somebody really, really big.
I would say Capcom.
Yeah,
that was when Capcom was at their lowest. When everyone, should have.
See, I'm thinking a completely different market. Right now, everyone's mentioning Japanese studios. I would go to a Western studio, like a Take-Two, one of the big Western publishers.
I didn't see the money for that.
Yeah, that was.
If Xbox said, "Hey, we own Call of Duty and GTA," then I mean, PlayStation would be like,
yeah.
That would be like a '90s wrestling move, you know?
Because we've been talking.
We've been like, well, guess what's coming back? The Getaway and Killzone, boys.
Because we've been talking for weeks. We've been talking for weeks how Sony's targeting the West. So yeah, if they hit a Western studio, it's just like
you'd have
cut
to hit
them at the throat.
Western
That would be interesting though, because Sean's not wrong. All of a sudden, a lot of their old IPs would wake up.
Yep. Right. Yeah, you'd see a lot of new Saints Row games. I mean, if Xbox suddenly woke up one day and said, "Hey, we're buying FromSoft," I'd be like, "Oh shit!" Like I know that's not like obviously like GTA numbers, not even fucking close, but that would hit personally. I'd be like, "Ooh, guess I'm playing all my FromSoft games on Xbox now."
But that would also be like a statement acquisition as well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? 'Cause it's almost like they're swiping it from underneath Sony in some unofficial capacity. because they've been so aligned with Sony for such a long time. So that'd be a pretty big move if they did that. It's kind of like I kind of joked last week and said they should get Bluepoint, because Bluepoint is not technically a Sony studio. That wouldn't necessarily be a as big of an announcement, but that would be a pretty ballsy move if they did that.
So let's go over here. The last topic before we finish up with some of the remaining super chats and outros. The Verge wrote up about, I have it in front of me here, with Sony, and it was another company as well. They partnered with RTS to buy EVO, and this surprised a lot of people, I guess, on Twitter. And I also saw that Nintendo responded as well to it, saying that they would continue to, I guess, monitor and decide what they're going to do with, I assume it'd be Smash Brothers, OJ.
Yeah, Smash is the only game they have there. So Sony and RTS own EVO, I guess, now, or they're about to. I don't know if they're still filing. It has to be done. And Sony said, I guess they're going to leave it how it is. But I am curious how that would work out with Smash Brothers, which was the biggest one. They're still going to do an event this year, right? It's going to be all online. I think Tekken, for example, is going to be there.
Yeah, Smash was not involved in the online.
But wouldn't it push out Killer Instinct, though?
Killer Instinct hasn't. I don't think Killer Instinct was there last year. But
well, there wasn't an EVO last year. It was there the year before.
Yeah. It might push it out, but I do think personally, like with this, I think Sony's trying to go for. They want everybody to play the fighting games, like the multi-platform stuff, the Mortal Kombat, all that stuff played on PlayStation. They've been hosting their own tournaments. Like Sony's been hosting their own on their channel for Mortal Kombat. So it's kind of like it's like a marketing thing. In my opinion, that's what I think this is for. They want everybody playing it on PlayStation. They bought exclusivity console for Street Fighter 5. So they've always been a big, they've been in like the esports type of thing when it comes to the fighting game community. They've done stuff like
fighting games on anyways, right?
Yeah, they've even helped out with like certain pot bonuses over the years when it comes to games, like with EVO. So they've helped pump some money into that community, or those communities.
Just as a side note for these types of acquisitions, Microsoft acquired Smash.gg, which that's the big Smash group. Like they show that game, and it's Microsoft owned. So I mean,
I feel like Sony would probably leave something like Smash if Nintendo wants to have it there, because you get to the point where you got to run the event correctly, and that would be, you got to get the big games there. So I don't know, maybe Sony and Nintendo would actually have to legitimately discuss and come to terms with it. I'm not sure how all of that works in the background with EVO.
Yeah, well, there's the advertising revenue that kind of goes into there, and there's a cut that Nintendo would take and stuff like that. So it's something that Sony and Nintendo would definitely have to work out. Over the past few years, Smash Brothers has been one of the highest entrants, when it comes to, so that it brings in a ton of money. And also viewership has been extremely high, whether it's Melee or whether it's Smash Ultimate. Or Smash 4 back when there was a Disney deal that they did, for Smash 4. That was great. So we'll see how it works out. I think they're going to just leave it. And if it's obviously not going to be there this year, because the online, obviously Smash Online is not really good enough for this type of event. But next year, I think they'll have it. I think they'll have Ultimate there. And I think really what they're going to do is they're going to take out all the PC stuff, because it's a lot of the games are played on PC too. Like Tekken was played on PC. They're going to make it PS5. Where you play it on your PS5 there. Like you go there in person, everything's PlayStation 5. Like if it's a multi-platform game, it's all PlayStation 5. So I think they want to do that too with it.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll find out what happens next year in 2022, because this year's already set up with the online stuff, right? So I assume they'll have plenty of time to talk any of these deals or advertising or any of that.
I hope it works out, because that's not a topic that I necessarily want to pop back up and it's a negative thing, like if Smash should pull out or something. That's something I hope, like, when we forget about it and it pops back up, it's more of a positive thing of like, oh yeah, there we go, everybody's here, versus being like, okay, well, goodbye Smash.
Yeah, Sony cut it out. Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully it's
Nintendo was weird about it. Like that, I think that'd be more of my worry would be like Nintendo be like,
Yeah, that's true, because Nintendo could be kind of hard-headed and be like, we don't care, just take Smash out of that.
I saw some people talking in the chat about it, like that's why Nintendo did like the cease and desist on the Big House tournament, because they saw Sony was going to do this. That's not the case. That was over a mod with emulation with Super Smash Brothers Melee, and they're not going to allow that. And to be honest, no company would allow that. Like Street Fighter 5. If you don't like the mechanics of Street Fighter 5, you can't mod it, then play it online. And like Capcom isn't going to sponsor anything like that too.
They're like the 10 commandments of like freaking game industry. Like I don't know why people were surprised by it, but whatever.
So that's not. So let's not bring that up. It was because of that. So I just want to make sure that people do know that it wasn't because they saw Sony doing this and then let's pull out a turn. That's not it. That's not true.
Okay. Well, I have some super chats here we can finish up with. Victor says, OJ can't wait for Life is Strange True Colors. He could not contain himself during the Square event. PTP says, what is the worst game you spent $50 or more on, and why is it Sonic 06? I did not.
Cyberpunk.
I did not. Oh,
Cyberpunk.
Oh, that's actually good. That's a good answer, actually. You know what? I'll give you that one, MVG. That's a good answer. Did you go back to it yet?
No, I heard that 1.2 patch came out, and I'm thinking about maybe checking it out. But
I ended up getting 40 hours of that game, so I don't feel as burned by it. But I
did too. Yeah,
I can see why you would if you were just like, I can't play this game right now.
I was fully aware that was like a janky, broken, shitty game. Where I played it on PS5 too. Yeah, I really fucked up on that one because like I had the option to play on Series X or PS5, and I bought it on PS5 because my dumb brain was like, in a couple of months. They're gonna make it so like when you play this with a DualShock, like your hands buzz.
I did the same thing. I got on the PS5 because I thought that would happen. Now I'm like,
dude, well,
holiday 2021.
Yeah, yeah, that one's up there for sure. Yeah, I definitely got burned on that game.
Yeah, I mean it was $6 for the early access version. So
I think honestly the only game I bought recently that I actually regret because I tend to be pretty picky was I just was dumb. I bought Blackout and I hated it. I got like maybe 3-4 hours. I couldn't even play with my friends. The connection to playing the first battle royale from Call of Duty. The first battle royale from Call of Duty. You had to pay for the full game to actually like play the battle royale. I was really big into that at the time. It was stupid. I literally 3 hours.
I spent $60 on WWE 2K18. That's right.
Oof.
Ooh, dude.
That's right. I mean, I made a video.
That That's right.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think it was gonna be good, so I guess there's that. Matthew says, it is great to have Brian Altano on again. MVC misses him.
Oh yeah, I missed that show for a few weeks. I'll be back soon. Hey, I fucking love seeing all of you here. Like this is a blast. So whenever we can make it work, we'll make it work.
Awesome. Yeah, Brian's very, very busy. I'll say that. He is extremely busy. He's all over the place. So it's good to have him on though. Took some time here with us. Aganthem says System Shock remake on Game Pass MVG. Oh wait, that's right. Blink twice MVG.
I really don't know. Honestly, is my answer. I don't know. That's business shit that I have no real information about. So, but maybe one day they'll do it.
Work. You just make the games work, right? You don't deal with the business stuff. Chris says, honestly, thank you all for what you do. We all love you. Thank you, Chris. Matt says, get a Quest 2 and download Vorpix. I'm playing Titanfall 2 and Metro Exodus, and I'm blown away how good these games look in VR.
Oh, good to know.
Jeff Grubbs Game Mess says, make Nate the Hate do his Providence accent.
Hey, my Providence accent, the accent I'm able to control. He wants me to say things like water, and I parked my car at Harvard Yard, and I dock my dock. And I saw things. I drink my water. I saw the bird in the air.
Water. That's the thing. I hear that so often, man.
What's wrong with the water?
Is it Warshed also?
Monster Hunter.
Do you say Washington? Do you say Washington or do you say Washington?
That's like a Philadelphia thing. Washington.
Oh, it's totally a Philly thing.
What's something else? Hand sanitizer. It's Matt Damon stuff. That's how we talk.
Do you say idea and have an R on the end? So you say, I have no idea?
No,
that was a more middle America thing.
Idea, but like my mother, my aunt, and uncle, they'll say idea. And I'm like, where do you get this extra sound from? And I don't know why they talk that way. But yeah, I just have the whole
It's a whole other world. You want to go watch a Phillies game at the stadium? It's a whole other world to go to.
They're also like the regularly like the loudest dudes in the room too. Like they're just, and I'm a loud motherfucker, but like they're They're on a next level. The decibel meters at the doorway.
Today says, besides Super Mario 3D World and Mario Kart, what are some other great Switch games that have both local and online multiplayer at the same time? Have local and have both of them. I mean, Click's gonna say Splatoon, obviously, for online.
Well, Splatoon doesn't have local though.
There's no local though, right?
Unfortunately, which
That's
is
a good point. Yeah.
in my opinion.
I mean, Smash.
Oh, is that? Oh, I guess.
Smash Brothers.
Didn't Streets of Rage have local?
Streets.
Yep.
Yeah. Streets have local. Oh yeah.
Street Fighter 30th anniversary collection.
Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
I wish I could say Mario Party.
Everyone does.
Right.
I mean, I
mean, it's a good selling game.
Luigi's Mansion has local and online.
Yeah.
too.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a good one.
Hey, Mario Golf's coming up. Don't sleep on Mario Golf.
Ooh, yeah, Mario Tennis too. I was playing some Mario Tennis today with the crew. It was tons of fun. Yeah, it's really good.
Mario Golf. Mario Golf's gonna be awesome. I hope. The Basement Band says, "Is OJ here? Love y'all." That was for $9.99.
I am here.
Okay. Katana Riku says, "OJ hype." Nintendo Power says, after setting my PS5 back under warranty, if your game is freezing and playing background audio, might be GPU issues. Mine played for 2 months before dying.
Rip.
Cornel says, I want Microsoft to buy Sega just so they can throw money at the song licenses and bring Jet Set Radio Future back.
Well, they got that group that's bringing back the spiritual successor to it, which looks awesome.
That does look really good.
Yep. I think that's the problem because those licenses have long, changed hands. So I don't think they can bring those songs back, unfortunately.
This is Joseph says, just for Brian saying it would depend on which console had less Sonic games and making me spit my tea out.
Sonic fans, no disrespect. You enjoy.
Bro says, OJ, what's up? What's up with the fan service tonight?
What?
V-neck. V-neck.
Oh,
this is V-neck shirt.
Captain.
Well, it's. I was supporting my man Jordan French. It's got the.
There you go.
Keyboard
Captain says cartridges. Cartridges doomed any potential ambitious N64 game. That's true. They lost Final Fantasy basically because of it.
Yep.
They gained RE2.
I would agree that some of the amazing achievements they came up with on the N64 would counter that.
They just had to turn difficulty to very hard.
Okay, hold on. Can I clarify something really quick? Comments are like Splatoon has local multiplayer, not on the same console. If you all have your own Switch, that's fine, but you all have to. I'm talking about. I thought we were talking about
same screen.
Yeah, local co-op, mono screen. Yeah.
Same screen.
Yep.
Yeah. FVG, you should do like audiobooks, man. You should do like you should like link up with like Headspace or Calm or some shit,
I get that. You're not the first person that's mentioned that before.
Yeah, because you're fucking good at it, man. You got to get out there. Like you should be putting people to sleep. This is like this is
there needs to be a secret MVG meditation YouTube channel.
Yeah, you got. I mean, I think you should be on like the meditation apps and shit like that. You should be. I'm not talking about like you just don't make a whole YouTube thing of just like just whispering in people's ears or whatever. But like
ASMR
things.
You're really good at that.
I get told you should do audiobooks, you should do ASMR. People tell me on my videos I didn't fucking understand anything you said in that video, but I loved every minute of it because I loved the way you said it. I mean, I get all that stuff.
It'd be
it's very comforting. You have a great voice.
It'd be like all those old whale noise albums from the past. Would just be MVG saying like Australian things into a microphone. Oi.
I've only gotten like a professional massage like 3 or 4 times in my entire life, and one of them they were just playing whale noises the entire. I was dying laughing, and the lady was like, you're very tense," and I'm like, I'm fucking. Everything I hear right now sounds like the most ridiculous sound effects I've ever heard in my life. It sounds like whales having sex.
Massage parlor. That shit sucks.
No, you can call it ASMVGR. ASMVGR. It's got a nice ring to it.
I like that a lot. That's really good.
Second channel.
Really good.
I'm gonna roll it right now.
MVG and I put people to sleep on the Nate the Hate channel every week. I get comments where people are like, I'm driving in my car, I get sleepy, I have to stop listening to you because we're gonna fall asleep. And that's not an insult, but I have to listen at home, or they listen while they're doing yard work and they fall off their lawnmower.
What?
Accidents happen.
Wow, you might want to get some. You want to like put a disclaimer at the front.
Nate the Hate trying to kill people.
Disclaimer at the beginning saying do not listen while operating heavy machinery.
No, seriously, like let's get you in touch with like the PR people at Headspace or some shit, man. You need to like I'd rather try to go to sleep listening to you than like Kevin Hart tell me it's gonna be okay. I mean, because that dude has like $8 billion. I know he's okay. You know, we're in a different space personally. Like you and me, we're on the same level. We physically look identical. Yeah. I think this could work out.
I think getting affirmations from you in a mirror, but it's not you.
On April Fools, if you roll a IGN video on April Fools, I'll superimpose my voice over you saying something.
For April Fools,
I like that a lot.
Brian, present your video just like it's you. Just like
let's run it. I love it. I love it.
Don't say anything. Just have Brian do like the 2 or 3 minutes of like when you're on screen.
I'm into. So we're building a cinematic universe because there's this dude. Do you guys what's his name? Murr from it's like a prank comedy show. Unpractical Jokers. Yeah. Yep. And so like he and I started following each other on Twitter because a lot of the times people will say that we look like each other, and so I'm bringing you into this. Like this is just now going to be like this. Like non-stop group of bald white guys that look identical.
You guys are gonna meet in public, and the universe is gonna end.
Yeah.
Then we have hits saying Sega is botching Sonic's 30th anniversary already. I think a lot of people even forgot that it was Sonic's anniversary, so I would say they are. Jalen says, "Thank you for reminding me about Hades' physical releases. Just got an order from Best Buy via pickup tomorrow."
Joy.
Fish Fan says another great show, SpawnCast crew. Also, welcome back, RGT85. You're way better than MI85. Changed my mind.
You know what's funny? So last Saturday, I was supposed to go to my uncle's party, and I didn't end up going. What ended up happening was my back had been starting to act up because I have like an old nagging back injury, and I took like fucking some old muscle relaxers I had, and like was in bed at like 9:30, passed out, and that's when I decided I was like, I need to start working out again and fucking eating better and shit because I ain't dealing with this bullshit. So it was actually a revelation.
There we go.
Yes, let's go. Right.
Still smoking cigarettes though. Go fuck yourself.
Let's do what you gotta do.
I still some super chats here to go through. We can go through outros and do them in between. Let's start with our guest tonight, Brian Altano. Thank you, Brian, for joining us. You want to let everyone know where they can find you and what you got going on coming up?
Yeah, sure thing. So you can catch me on IGN. I'm on a bunch of shows all the time. Nintendo Voice Chat, Podcast Beyond. On the side, I do a comedy show called Comedy Button once a week. Working on a new album. I hosted the South by Southwest Awards like 14 seconds before tonight's show started. So things are out there, but otherwise, take care of yourselves. I hate plugging my own shit. I hope you're all happy. Thank you so much for having me on. You guys are fucking awesome, by the way. I miss this shit. Like when quarantine first hit, I did this show and I was like, things are going to be okay. And so, yeah, that's all I got to say.
Sorry to give you
everybody else plug their shit. You guys are all fucking awesome.
Once we get back to normal and we'll get out the packs or something.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. We'll do it.
We'll get like a video segment or something up for the channel. Everyone together.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
We'll do that. And actually, while we're here, let Sean go ahead and do your outro. Let everyone know.
Find me on RGT85. No video today, but watch yesterday's video. I went on a rant, but it was kind of an uncharacteristic rant. So you might enjoy it or you might just not enjoy it. But I don't really care either way. I just wanted to go on a rant about it. Basically talking about how there's a small segment of people saying that Forspoken is like an SJW woke game because it has a black chick as the lead character, which I think is the stupidest fucking thing in the world. And if you know anything about me, you would know that I'm probably the least politically correct person on this panel. So for me to feel that strongly about something, like, fuck, man, like it was a pretty good rant. But yeah, tomorrow Kingdom of Amalur video is going up. I have it all rocked and ready to go. And then as far as this week coming up, I really have no idea, but be on the lookout for a Monster Hunter video.
Yeah, that's right. This
Monster Hunter is kind enough to be hooking the channel up with a little bit of a bag to play the game, and I mean, I was going to play the game anyway, so thanks for the free bag and the free copy of the game. So be on the lookout for that. We're doing some online multiplayer with some familiar faces as well. So, yeah.
So I have everyone's information linked down in the description. So make sure you check all of that out. We have Corin here saying any Metal Gear info and how much. Oh, and much love from Boston, my Rhode Island brother. That would be to Nate.
Damn right.
Any Metal Gear info? I don't think anything new really.
Nothing new. Probably won't hear anything substantial regarding Metal Gear for many, many, many long months.
Probably a while. Months.
Months?
At least a year. Okay, interesting.
Don't read into the months can also mean years.
Like
months.
18.
A year is comprised of many months.
Like 18 months. Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't need this to turn into some Reddit thread.
But it will.
Stop overthinking.
Too late. Andrew says, I would pay to see RGT play Animal Crossing New Horizons get mad. By the way, it was 1 year anniversary for Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Yeah, happy birthday.
1 year, wow.
Mm-hmm.
My copy finally got, it's no longer in transit.
Where is it?
It's just no longer on my order page.
It's arrived in the nether realm.
You didn't order it a year ago, did you?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I ordered from Amazon a year ago. It was in transit.
Ryan, I think you were on the show like a year ago, like when we were talking about Animal Crossing when it came out.
Yeah, that's right.
You still
It was in transit for 1 year.
What?
It must have been on the plane that the game actually uses for you to visit your friend's islands.
Oh my god.
Just never landed.
What the fuck?
Weird. Strawman says
I was gonna do an ASMR video of me playing
you
Animal
were.
Crossing and all that, and Amazon said, "Nah, the universe is not
The
getting
world can't stand that.
They're like,
Strawman-
you're gonna put too many people to sleep. We have to save people in quarantine."
Strawman says, do you know of trustworthy places to get a GameCube fix? Mine doesn't read discs half the time. First player controller slot doesn't send rumble and disconnects the controller so often. Games are unplayable. I would honestly at that point look into getting another one.
Just replace it. Yeah, they're not that expensive, are they? To GameCube?
Console only. They're probably like,
Yeah.
I think they might be like $60 now for console only. They're starting to go up a little bit.
Yeah,
But
you guys checked up the price.
you can jump on it now.
Hey, I got my Panasonic Q. Piss off.
Yeah, you're good.
Do you? Oh man, that's
I have
I got it
awesome.
cheap as hell too.
How much you pay for it?
Like,
It's $250, right?
it was a 250 or 260 at a convention. And
No
the thing
controller
was,
though, right?
Huh?
No controller though. We still gotta get that.
No
Q
controller, but like he couldn't like it didn't have any. He didn't have any AV cable, so he couldn't show me if it worked. But he was like, "I swear to God, it works." And I was like, "Well, I'll just bury you if it doesn't work." So like I looked at like store name and shit. And I was like, "I will fucking roast you on the channel." But yeah, it worked. It worked great, and it actually was region modded as well. So like I didn't even know that. He didn't even tell me. So yeah, it was a fucking beaut.
Fuck, that's awesome. That's one of my like white whales. We had one at the IGN office back when we had an office for a minute, and goddamn, they're so cool looking.
Mhm. Oh, they definitely are. They're a pain to take apart though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Don't do that.
Those drive rails. Oof.
Yeah, that was not a fun repair. Check says, any word on the status of the Polymega? Who knows? We'll let you know. Christopher says, MVG, what are your thoughts on Bitcoin and blockchain?
I have a little Bitcoin, but I don't know. I mean, I have a very, very small amount of it. I'm just, dabbling with it. So.
I'm curious, MVG, is if these newer NFT things could actually give digital games value and solve that problem.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
That's what I'm curious about, because they'd give a unique identifier to each digital game release, so there'd be legitimate stock to it, which means a digital game could sell out, by the way. But that would mean that a game would have inherent value, even though it's not physical,
and value to the point where you could trade it on a market if possible.
Right. This is a much deeper conversation than I think we're prepared for. But I do feel like if game companies get on MFTs or NFTs for microtransaction stuff and make sort of like individual identifiable like cosmetic goods, it's gonna get fucking dangerous and gross.
That would be interesting. Yeah, that sounds like some EA stuff with like FIFA.
Yeah, like I think there's an open door and a slippery slope right there to get like not great personally, but we'll see. I'm glad artists are making money right now though. Get money and get the fuck out.
Dragoon says, why doesn't Nintendo create an action adventure sandbox game similar to Disney Infinity? I don't know.
Well, that one went out of business, and Breath of the Wild that has sold like 7 million copies. So
yeah, a lot. Yeah, 20 million. Yeah.
20 million, yeah. 7 million in like the first year. No, they're good.
Let's go over to OJ. Where can they find you?
Find me right here on YouTube. Player Essence got some cool videos lined up for you guys next week, including something that's pretty big, a first for me. That'll be a thing that I'll talk about later. So you guys can check out the channel next week. I stream daily, cover Nintendo, RPG, all sorts of stuff. So if you enjoy that, definitely subscribe to the channel. And we're giving away a PS5 and $1,000 worth of credit once we hit 100K. So yeah.
Can I answer?
Oh shit!
What's that?
What's what?
Oh, I thought Brian said something.
Oh,
I'm shocked that OJ's about to cross 100K. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
it's getting close.
It's on his way.
Yeah, we got something cool that's coming up. That's gonna help out for sure. So very nice. You guys pay attention. Stay tuned.
I says. Oh, go ahead, Ryan.
I was gonna say I love seeing people do well. That's it. That's the pitch.
Yep. OJ's working on it, man. He's working at it. Yeah. I says, do you think Returnal PS5 is trying to be Nintendo Metroid? I'm gonna say no.
Maybe slightly inspired by it, but beyond that, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Robert
for that game.
Female protagonist. I mean, what else?
Right, because it's like you're fighting like aliens and like
sci-fi
you're like
theme, but
sci-fi
theme, weird planet,
games like that though.
But
like,
it's like Alien.
I would say more like like a Ridley. Yeah.
But
it's just
a
Alien.
Yeah, but it's just a game trying to get in on the roguelike genre that keeps exploding.
But
that's all it is.
Sure.
Even if they were inspired, that's not a Metroid inspired lots of stuff. Castlevania, there's lots of games that were inspired by there's like a million games that were inspired by Metroid, so it's not a big deal even if it was. It's no biggie.
We literally have a genre, Metroidvania.
Yeah,
I know. Housemarque makes cool shit. I'm all in on what they do. Like I'm super excited for Returnal because I think they're gonna nail it. I wasn't crazy when I first heard about like the procedurally generated environments and stuff like that, but the fact that it changes each run just in that own way, I'm into it. I think they make great shit, so I'm down for whatever they do.
The gameplay surprised me a little bit. It looks faster than I thought it was going to be at first. So yeah, I'm gonna be checking that out day one. Yep. And this is from Robert saying my dream character for Smash and should be in is Dr. Eggman. There we go. Lazy says maybe the next Nintendo is a VR device. David says, I'm thinking of purchasing a PSP here soon and was wondering if you guys would recommend a 3000 model or the Go. I intend to mod it at some point.
I really like the Go, but the 3000.
Yeah, I would agree. I love the Go, but the Go, it has issues with battery. And once the battery's dead on it, it's almost impossible to replace.
You can get the extended battery for the 3000.
Yeah, but the Go is like sleek and I love it. But yeah, I would say go the 3000 for practical reasons.
Gurnil says, I totally download a picture of OJ on Game Pass if he was wearing nothing but the new PSVR controller. There you go.
Wow.
Jose for life.
It's free. Take it.
Jose for life says, have OJ say, I want to shake your hand.
How much did he pay? How much did he pay you?
$2.99.
All right, that's worth it. I want to shake your hand.
Troy Perry says games are more expensive to make than movies, yet Netflix is more expensive than Game Pass. Xbox is killing it. Keep up the Xbox and wrestling game talk.
He's right.
Joven says Echo the Dolphin for Smash. You know what? Sakurai would make it work.
He would probably make that work, and that dolphin would kick your ass.
That'd be awesome.
The Emperor Baron Black says the AEW console game is going to be something that will blow you away. Get your popcorn ready for the reveal. Also, thank the gaming gods that Pokemon N64 trees and flat grass will be no more.
Baron, how does Baron use more characters than that's in a super chat? Like, how does he somehow use more than what's even possible?
Hey, we're gonna look back on that. We're gonna look back on that N64 tree with fond memories, just like the PS1 door from Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yo, right? Shout out to my homie. Hey, shout out to my homie Baron, AEW superstar Baron Black, man. He's the homie.
Hey, you know what? I'm all for more wrestling games, just because the ones we've been getting are terrible. So yes, the more the better, just so we can We can make WWE 2K actually do something. Sacon 10 says 7th gen was the peak for fighting games and FIFA games. Juice Man Vaughn says in terms of what the big game companies were willing to release, Gen 6 is unmatched. Capcom isn't making a game like God Hand today.
Not wrong.
David Gray, no message there. Yum says, why is Crystar for the PS4 is getting expensive?
There's no copies of that game. They barely printed it. And it's a stupid game. So it's stupid. It's a stupid, like, silly game. So, you know, those type of games. But there's barely any copies of it.
Zaire Miller says, Forspoken story sounds like Ice K. Can't believe it took this long to get one. BG says, Xbox buys Sega, Skies of Arcadia 2, Flight Sim. Oh, okay, got it. I got it. Xbox buys Sega, Skies of Arcadia 2, Flight Sim, and then it just says Ing. And let's go to MVG. Where can everyone find you?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. You can find me on Twitter at Modern Vintage G and on YouTube at Modern Vintage Gamer. I have a Monday video coming out as always, and yeah, it was fun to hang out with you guys tonight. Thanks for having me.
Who did I click? Did I go to you? Can you tell everyone where they can find you? I'm sorry, I was trying to read the stuff over here while I was going through everyone's. Okay, go ahead. Click. Sorry.
You're good. Thanks for having me. I had a lot of fun hanging out with everybody. Good to see you again, Brian.
Good to see you too.
You can find me here on YouTube as Misclick Gaming. We're doing more videos, different types of content and stuff. Thanks for the 100,000. That's pretty exciting. Never thought that I'd be here, but here we are.
Hey, get that plaque. Get that button.
Yeah, get that play button.
Yeah. We might have to talk about this stuff later. Anyways, you can find me live pretty much every day on Twitch, except for Sundays. That's kind of like my main domain. So come hang out and chat with us. It means a lot whenever people stop by and say they're here from the SpawnCast. And I definitely talk more there than I do on here for the most part. So for those of you who choose to be mean to me about that, you can't get me to shut up on my own streams. So you can just go there and then hate me a whole different way. But I had fun. Thanks for having me.
Joven says, what is a good Joy-Con alternative? Mine broke. The ones that Sean used are pretty good. The Ori
pads. They got some new Monster Hunter ones coming out. Or if you have a Pro controller, get the Fixture S1. It's the fucking tits.
There you go.
Plug in the Pro controller, plug in the screen, you're good to go. You don't need anything else.
There you go. Daniel says we need a Super Mario Strikers for the Switch. I agree.
Yes,
we do.
Yes, we do.
Rookie X Play Network says, so if Xbox Game Pass goes to PlayStation, would that mean that PlayStation Now would show up on Game Pass?
No.
Probably not. I mean, Microsoft already talked to Sony about that, apparently. So, distant future, maybe. We'll see what Microsoft keeps buying. Paul says, thank you all for making time for this podcast, even you, Drake. And that's for SG Nate.
What?
Which Richard says, will they ever make another Star Fox game? I hope so.
Yes, don't make
I do too.
Yeah, I hope so. Nintendo says, yeah.
One of these days, they'll make one.
Nintendo says, Nate the Hate sounding like Ben Stein over here.
Win Ben Stein money.
It says, here you go. Thanks for the shout out, Spawn. You're welcome, Chris
Ben Stein.
Rosedale says, sorry, OJ, I have to bring this up again after the first super chat. Your tank over the sweater looks funky.
I don't know why he said that. His mother said it was fantastic on me. And she absolutely lost my entire.
Yeah, I drove her over there earlier.
She's the one who told me to put it on. She likes the way that my collarbones look right here. So
he was in the window and I was like, I'll bring you here, but weird that I'm driving. And then she looked in the window and she saw OJ swearing with the tank top and she goes, okay, I'll go in. This is perfect for me. And I was like, this is fine.
I got a nice room for her and everything.
Yeah, it was a really good deal. And I got $100 for no just for drive. Yeah, I'm working for Uber now, so it's cool. It was a good deal. Everything worked out. Yeah, everyone's happy, really.
Yeah,
no
she's
bad,
feeling great right
no
now.
bad reviews until now.
Gotta get some of that old school Kool-Aid and everything. That's all.
That's
good,
right. That's right. I did agree to not pick her up because I didn't want any part of that, but I did.
Rupert says, hoping for a pandemic to be over so SpawnCast can finally do all kinds of events like PAX. That'd be cool. SpawnCast live. With a new guest, Brian Altano.
I'm 100% in. When things go back to normal and we have PAXs and conventions and all that shit, let's do it. I'm in.
All right. Well, Brian, right there at the
I can finally quit Uber.
We'll get you out of there, man. It'll be fine.
Thank God. I keep driving the same woman to OJ's house. It's fucked up.
Sarah says, thank you, SpawnCast staff, for another great show. Thank you all for being a wonderful community. Jordan, where can everyone find you?
Sometimes I make videos. Jordan,
you made one though recently, man.
Yeah,
it's back. Jordan's back.
I'll make one. I'll make something else soon.
Oh, nice. Hey, people liked your video, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. You should do another one, Jordan.
Yeah, eventually.
And we're gonna have people want Nate to close out the show, which we'll do here in a second. Mr. Sudbuff says, I'm not watching live. I just want my donation to be read while I listen to this later at work. Hashtag overnight shifts suck.
Oh.
Aki says, do y'all think we will see graphics intensive games on the Switch Pro looking as good as PS4, Xbox One, like GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, Assassin's Creed, Resident Evil 7 through 8, etc.? Cyberpunk, anyone? There was going to be some exclusive games apparently for it, so we'll see. Adam says, love the show. Always try to catch it live when I can. Now that Jordan and Spawn got their Skate 4, we did. I'm going to need them to will a Dead Space 4 / potential collection into existence now. Also, I'd love to see Adam Korlick on the show as well. Okay, we'll get into that. I don't know if we can help you there. EA only gave us one, so. Key says, new PSVR controller is missing D-pad. Wouldn't this be an issue on some games? Never played PSVR games, so I was wondering.
They'll figure something out for that stuff.
I don't know.
They'll figure something out for it.
Key says, with the new PS5 VR controller being black, isn't that a teaser that we will get either black PS5 controller or black PSVR headset? I'd like the controller. That's the thing I'd like next for a DualSense option. Shinner says, hi, everyone. Just ordered a SpawnCast 200th hoodie. Can't wait. Play Where's Waldo SpawnCast edition while repping the brand. Thanks for the videos, everyone. Aki then says, Evan, can we get a die cut sticker of the SpawnCast 200 special edition like there was for the SpawnCast episode 100? Either way, thanks for the cool design.
Maybe. I'll look into it.
Okay. Easton says, do you guys think Final Fantasy VII Remake will go to Game Pass? Maybe
in 2022.
That's a good idea, though. They might as well throw that on there.
If need a big bag. A big bag.
Yep.
Or it'll be some weird situation where like Game Pass gets the vanilla version and it doesn't get the PS5 version.
Microsoft's just gonna buy Square. It's cool. Shinner says, "Let's everyone stream crossover game. Mine would be a new. We're just writing checks for Microsoft here. Mine would be a new Pokemon game with Shadow Concept with Atlas writing the story. A dark Pokemon story. I would love that. What about y'all? Jeez, crossover games. I don't know, Brian. What do we cross over Sonic with to make it good?
Fuck.
They tried to do an RPG with BioWare, and that game was terrible.
Oh man,
what about a Paper Mario
I
style?
thought people liked that game. Didn't people like that game?
No, Sonic Dark Chronicles is terrible.
I mean, we even tried to cross it over with Mario Party with Sonic Shuffle, and that didn't even work out.
Oh,
and
right.
they tried to make Sonic a knight. And that was...
I don't know that. You know what? Yeah. No, well.
What if they What if they gave it the Paper Mario treatment though?
I mean, it can't be any worse, right?
Yeah, I mean,
let's find out.
Place where how much worse can it get?
Maybe like the sort of like Life is Strange point and click. You know, give this man some dating options.
A walking sim with Sonic.
Yeah, give Sonic a walk.
Sonic Death Stranding.
You know, take away his most identifiable trait and put him on some dates. Put him in some nice restaurants. You know,
can he
socially
date
distanced.
Women.
Like, he's done that for years, didn't he? He's had
Black.
That is how that game ended.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was weird shit.
Never bought one of those 3D TVs back in the day. Never owned one worth any good. I have the Sony one actually at the office right now that I need to do something with. So I do have one. I just really haven't looked at it much. So I will let you know hopefully in the future. Nate, we have one super chat here that asked you to take us out. So let me go to that. And Maximo for Smash. That's from Edge's Dragon.
Ooh,
that's a good one.
That's a good one. It wouldn't happen, but that's a good one.
And where? Okay, here. No, that's not it. That's the one saying you sound like Ben Stein.
Hey,
here.
You can't win my money.
Ridiculous says, can Nate close the show? Love you all. Hope you have the best night ever. I think we have everyone here then. So
did we get Evan?
Probably not.
I'm gonna let people know where they can find you.
On Twitter, Chemrix Project. I usually stream Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. We started playing Stone Shard again to check it out. It's brutal as shit. I've been dying in that game all the time. But yeah, you can just follow me on Twitter.
Okay. And then Nate, you want to take us out? Let everyone know they can find you.
Yep, they can find me on YouTube at Nate the Hate. MVG and I will have an episode in the coming week because we didn't have one this past week because not much happened that we really felt was worth a full episode of discussion. So next week we will have an episode for everyone to listen to and fall asleep to if you're having trouble sleeping. And that will conclude tonight's episode of SpawnCast episode 207. We will be here again next week at the same time. Be sure to check out our 200th episode shirt, link in the description below. Purchase it, rep it, bring it to conventions later this year. And until next week, we will see you then. And you will not win my money. And I will ask for Ferris.